Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kirk Williamson from the Tri-Cities Coliseum, where tonight the Tri-City Americans trying to get back on the winning track against the Lethbridge Hurricanes. The Hurricanes featuring two of the top point scorers in the league in Brian Bosch and Corey Lyons. Bosch has been off to such a scoring streak that he scored 26 goals in 24 games. Furthermore, he's been out for 5 games, and he's still the #1 point producer in the Western Hockey League. The Lethbridge Hurricanes like the wind, like the whistle up and down the ice, and they will put a lot of pressure on the Tri-Cities netminder Frank Furlan. Former Tri-City American Dusty Emo beat the Americans in Lethbridge. The first time these two teams played, he was in goal. This time it'll be Jeff Ferguson. The Hurricanes, a very offensive-minded team. They give up a lot of goals. They give up almost 6 goals per game on the average. But the Americans have not been scoring at anywhere near that kind of clip. The secret? Good defense can usually beat good offense. We'll be back with the starting lineups and the opening face-off in 1 minute on this Cable 15 broadcast. Putting on in West Mackey as we get ready to get this game underway. The two clubs are out on the ice doing their little bit of warm-up, skating around in circles. And Tony, you have an observation or two.
Yeah, Kirk, I was just noticing down over in the far corner from where we're sitting, down on the left side of the stadium, the Coliseum here, that is the south end. When they put the new ice back on over the last couple of days, there's a rough spot down there, and I just saw Brian Bosch run through there and tripped, and I'm not sure what's going to go on down there. That looks a little bit torn up. Now, when they come in and put this new ice on, it takes about 6 hours for them to spray it on and repaint it. And I was talking with Jim Laux, the chief engineer here that's responsible for the ice. He says everything's go, and we do have people going down there right now. They're heading down to that far corner to touch it up a little bit. So that might be a spot to watch down there as the game progresses.
Yeah, it looks like the ice has been roughed up, and also they used a new kind of material to make the ice white. Mm-hmm. If you were in here the other night during the Rich Little show, you would have noticed that the concrete is basic gray concrete color below the ice floor. They put they spray the ice, the water on and freeze it, and then either paint it, or in this case they used a new paper-like material. Looks kind of like, well, it's like it comes in rolls like butcher paper, but it kind of feels like crepe paper. Mm-hmm. And laid that down and then put water on top of it. And I asked Jim Laux about it a little bit ago, the chief engineer of the building. It claims to be less expensive and faster than putting down the paint, but Jim didn't feel that that was really the case, and he was not a happy person when I talked to him about the way the ice came out this time. So, yeah, and it's kind of an art. You don't get it exactly the same every time because different conditions change, and as a result, there is a certain amount of artistry involved in getting the ice surface down.
Yeah, that's very true. And also down at the Americans end, just about 10 feet, 20 feet past the blue line, you'll see a little white patch down there. And for those of you that are inside the Coliseum and probably wondering what that is when Jim Laux and his crew were spraying that fine mist of water across the stadium floor down there, the hose broke, and it's put a hole in the paper down there, and it caused a little bit of a gap there, and he came out and resurfaced it up a little bit. So that's not going to be a problem. He's really pretty confident about that area down there. It's the corner area that we might have to keep an eye on tonight.
Well, right now they're laying chips of ice down on it and using a puck to smooth it out and hammer it down and get it properly smoothed out. The floor does not, the ice looks soft, and I don't quite know how to tell you why I say that, Tony, but it does appear that it's not, that it's soft, that it's actually wet on top.
Yeah, it does look a little bit like it does have a shine to it. Talk about soft ice, we can talk about Spokane. Now that was some seriously soft ice up there. And that's soft ice.
That's the way they like it.
Yeah, they do. Soft ice, for those of you that don't understand that, is when the ice starts to shave and it starts to look like snow after a period of minutes. it is it's warm. It's warm ice. It's like slush, and it makes everything very slow. The puck has a tendency just to stop right where it's at. And up in Spokane, the players, a lot of comments from the players about how they thought that ice up there was just, well, to be perfectly frank, terrible. It was just terrible ice.
I believe that's known as home ice advantage.
Right. Yeah, and Spokane's got it.
Well, as they continue the repairs on the ice over there, we'll take a brief time out and be back in 1 minute with the beginning of this game. Singing of our national anthem by Monty Ingersoll. And Tony, we're ready to get this thing underway, finally.
Finally, a good thing, too. And, a little delay like that can kind of hurt the players. They come out of that locker room all ready to go. Great crowd tonight. Looks like okay, you ready, Kirk? I say 51.
You say what, 51?
I say 5,100, yeah.
Closer to 55.
Okay, good enough. Everybody heard it.
Here we go. Stu Barnes, Sean LeBrun, and Steve Rennie are the line for the Americans. For the Lethbridge Hurricanes, Hurricanes wearing red, white, and blue, is Brian Bosch. Bosch with Wheatcroft and number 23, Jason Ruff. Bosch winning the draw. Goes back behind the Americans' net. And wheeling back right in front of the net is Barnes, a backhander, and it's blocked there by Ferguson. Puck in behind the Lethbridge net. Another drive, and it's blocked again by Ferguson. The shot taken that time by LeBrun, a backhand. Puck around behind the net. LeBrun races in. Stolen away by Barnes. Barnes chips it toward the slot. LeBrun gets between his legs. Backward is Jakes. Barnes taking it away at the blue line. A drive by Jakes. Blocked out front now. Shot into the neutral ice area and back down into the Tri-Cities end. Ferland will leave it aside for Dan Schustenka. Schustenka shoots it out to LeBrun. LeBrun cross ice for Barnes. Barnes wheels in, shoots, and it's blocked by Ferguson.
I tell you what, the Americans have come out to play tonight. There's no doubt about it. It looks a lot sharper, a lot more. They have some confidence, and that's the key.
Certainly looks that way as LeBrun sails in behind the net and puts a big pop on Mark Kuntz, and then stands there to see just in case Mark Kuntz wants to do something about it. And I think he wisely decided that Sean LeBrun could wait for another time.
There you go.
McNutt with Delcourt and Spenrath now the line for the Americans. McNutt winning the draw to the right of the goal. But the puck shot into neutral ice. Here comes Mark Grigg. Grigg shooting it across the blue line into the Lethbridge end, and offsides called against the Lethbridge Hurricanes.
Shane Cole over there. Shane, and we've got to get the KK brothers in it. Shane Cole and Rob Krause have got to play their style of hockey game. And, you know, it was mentioned that they weren't very much into it up there at Spokane. But I'll tell you what, with a home crowd, they're going to get right into it. The face-off won by the Americans.
And it's Spenrath shooting it in on goal to Ferguson. Ferguson gloves it, leaves it behind in the corner right of the net. In after it is McNutt, but it's shot back out into neutral ice. Backboard is Krause. Krause turns back to Cole. Flips it all the way back to the Lethbridge blue line. Back into neutral ice, and here come the Americans as Delcourt gets caught with McNutt offside.
Greg Spenrath was also over across the blue line there.
Offside against the Americans. And it would be a face-off just outside the blue line. Well, they were down in that corner, and apparently the ice is okay down there because they were back out. They were back in there playing, and it seemed to be okay. Face-off won by Malone, and then lost to the Hurricanes as Kelly Enns takes it across the blue line to Mazatinek. Shane Mazatinek around behind the Tri-Cities net. It comes out now to Dirksen. Dirksen with it. He takes a big hit into the corner, and a big pop there by Kotowitz. Puck down in front of the net and shot back out to neutral ice to Berthelsen.
Nice play by Dirksen.
Berthelsen shoots a pass ahead intended for Mazatinek. Goes around behind the Tri-Cities net, and Cutter is there. Kotowitz with it. Ooh, hit from behind. Puck's loose right in the net. And it's knocked away behind the Tri-Cities net as the Hurricanes dig for it. Now into the corner, Kotowitz. Kelly Kotowitz taking a big pop there by Mazatinek as they force it down into the corner. Now the Americans back for it. That's number 18, LeBrun. LeBrun shoots it back out toward neutral ice, intended for Dirksen. Knocked away by Dirksen. It wasn't LeBrun either. It was Delcourt. Now Kotowitz gets it ahead to Kwiatkowski, and Kiwi was in too quick.
Kelly Kotowitz is, we got something going here.
As Rob Hale faces off with Murray Duval and Kwiatkowski, but nothing will come of it.
You know, Kirk, Kelly Kotowitz, who is out with a groin pull the last couple of games, injured himself at practice this afternoon, and it was kind of a weird one too, because what had happened was that one of the players in the locker room still had his skates on.
Lethbridge penalty to number 10, Rob Hale.
And we're going to get the
2 minutes for roughing. Tri-Cities penalty to number 24, Darren Kwiatkowski. Also 2 minutes for roughing time.
Double minors, a minor to each player, and that means no change in the number of bodies on the ice. As Barnes wins the draw, gets it back to Schustenka. Kenny shoots it in behind the net. Ferguson there, whips it back around the boards. Schustenka trying to get it away from Wheatcroft. Rennie there, he takes a big hit. Now LeBrun goes in after the left corner with Kuntz. Puck comes shooting back out to Wheatcroft. Wheatcroft gets it ahead down to Bosch. Brian Bosch. Bosch left to Jason Ruff. Ruff across the blue line, but it's broken up by Jakes. Now here comes Jakes for the Americans, one of the Bruce brothers. Jakes feeds it to the right side to LeBrun. Brunner with it out on the right wing. Puts a good move on there. Feeds it behind the net to Barnes. Barnes centering for LeBrun, and there's nobody home. And they'll take it back the other way as Jason Ruff has it for the Hurricanes. Loses it there to Rennie at the blue line. Good defense by the Americans. Dumped in behind the net. Back for it is Ferguson. Ferguson caught out of the net as Barnes goes racing in there to smack Mark.
We got
Kuntz.
a penalty coming up.
And a penalty comes up as the puck is shot toward the net. And it will go. Let's see what the penalty is.
Looks like charging.
It is going to be a charging penalty against the
Stu Barnes
Tri-City Americans, and that'll be power play number 1 against the Lethbridge Hurricanes. Penalty comes at 3:13 of the period.
Kirk, as I was saying about Kelly Kutowitz, he had his toe cut by one of the skates today, and one of the players backed up over top of him, and they put in 5 to 6 stitches today, and he is suited up and ready to play. I tell you, these guys, if they want to play, they'll play. No, nothing will keep them down.
The word is tough. On the face-off, won by the Americans. Back into neutral ice. Goes to Kraus. Rob Kraus with it. Now he'll air it into the Lethbridge end. It comes down in front of McNutt and a whistle.
It looks like
McNutt in offsides. That's a tough one to judge because you have to wait till the puck goes over the blue line, and then you can race in there after it. But you're looking at it go over your head. That's never easy. Face-off will come where the pass started, and that is inside the Americans' blue line. Just inside the Americans' blue line. It'll be McNutt facing off against Brian Bosch. Now McNutt being asked to leave, and Delcourt will step in against Bosch. Puck's down, comes out for the Americans along the blue line, back into neutral ice. Wes Walls back for it. Walls shoots a nice pass to Brian Bosch. Bosch is upended.
Nice check.
And Kraus dumps it into the Lethbridge end.
Shane Cole, what a hit.
Back for it is Berthelsen. The Americans all over him. McNutt steals it away. Good work by Delcourt. Knocked away there by Walls. Back around the corner. It goes to the right of the net. Now Gregg has it. Mark Gregg. Gregg with it. Backhand pass ahead to Corey Lyons. Lyons whipping it in along the dashboard behind the Tri-Cities net. In for it quickly is Gregg. In the corner left of the net. Delcourt digging away at it. Has it taken off his stick. Right side and a big drive by number 7, Corey Lyons. Lyons right to Walls. Lethbridge on the power play. Minute 6 to go. Out in front of the net. And it's poked away as Lyons fans on the shot.
The Lethbridge Hurricanes score on 29% of their power play opportunities. Second best in the WHL.
Well, and this is the league's best penalty killers for the Tri-City Americans. Puck shot into the Americans' end. Furlan will glove it and drop it. Takes a couple of steps. Leaves it there safely for Jakes. Jakes whipping it off the boards and back into neutral ice. All the way back as Ferguson comes out. Leaves it behind now for Ruff. Jason Ruff from Kelowna, British Columbia. 6'3", 187-pounder. Right side they go to Kelly Enns. Ends up the boards. Stolen away by Duval. Whipped back into the Lethbridge end. But Kuntz is there. Mark Kuntz with it as Rennie back on him. It is Ivan Jesse now shooting it ahead. Good pass to Kelly Enns. Enns across the blue line. Has it knocked away there. But right there is Wheatcroft. Wheatcroft a drive, and it's wide of the net. Back out front. Good defensive work by the Americans. Left pointed drive by Kuntz. Blocked out front and rejected. Another great defensive play by the Americans. This one Rick Fry as Kuntz brings it up. Kuntz up the boards. Penalty is over. Shotting around behind the net. Barnes wheels around for it for the Americans. Here comes Stu. Gets a pass ahead to Frank Maloney. Stripped away. And we'll have a offsides call. Or delayed. Nope. No
washed
call.
out.
Washed out as Lethbridge has the puck. They leave it behind for Walls. Centered right in front of the net. Couldn't get to it as they tried to get it to Kelly Enns. Back out to the point now. Enns with it. Right. Slides it in on Furlan, and Furlan dives on the puck. Furlan getting sat on there, and we're going to have some...
Shane Cole's sitting there. He's doing a little bit of deputy of defense down there, protecting his goaltender.
Well, Kelly Enns fell all over Frank Furlan. And now Kraus out there.
Yeah.
Nose to nose with Kelly Enns.
And it looks, yep, they're going to send Shane in.
Shane Cole going to the penalty box. He's going to get 2 minutes for roughing. That comes at 15, or 5:44 the period, rather.
Shane Cole knows this team pretty well, and he was at the Raiders at Prince Albert. They played against the Lethbridge Hurricanes in the same division, so they saw quite a bit of each other.
Well, Rob Kraus was traded to the Hurricanes, or to the Tri-City Americans for Dusty Emo. They got Kraus and
Sean LeBrun down talking to the referee.
I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
From the Hurricanes for Dusty Emo, a Americans backup goaltender.
Sean was down there trying to work out a little bit of a deal with the referee. He's a good lawyer. I think he should go as being an attorney.
Yeah, I think he should. He's either the most likely to be one or need one. I'm not sure which. Face off to the left of Frank Furlan. It is LeBron in there, facing off with Brian Bosch. LeBron kicks the puck back to Jakes, and Jakes rips one back into the Lethbridge end. It goes off the boards and is on goal as Ferguson will block it, leave it behind the net. Ferguson will bring it, or leaves it back for Berthelsen. Berthelsen brings it up to neutral ice for the Hurricanes. They dump it in right of the net. Ferland there to stop it. Ferland waits and now shoots it back out to neutral ice. Just over the head of Wes Walls. That was a dangerous move.
Yeah, that was great defense, though. You could see how each of the Americans picked a guy out and took him all the way to the boards. That was really a good defensive play.
13:45 to go in the period. Minute 25 in the penalty. As the Hurricanes get it ahead to Brian Bosch. Bosch in the slot, right side Walls. Bosch goes down left to Berthelsen. Berthelsen shot and Ferland blocks it. Left of the net. Puck scrambled for alongside the net, and Ferland goes around to stop it right there. Boy, Frank's had to really work back there tonight.
Yeah, he has, but I'll tell you something. You know, knowing how good the Hurricanes are on their power play, you have to credit the Tri-City Americans the way that they're killing this penalty. I have seen a different team out here in the first 6-7 minutes of this game than I saw the entire game up in Spokane.
Yeah, there's no question about that. As the crowd's starting to get pumped up and kind of into the thing here as we get ready for the resumption of play. Face off to the right of Ferland the Magician.
Looks like Nutter just been sent out. Yeah, they waved both of them off now.
McNutt being waved off along with Kelly Enns. And it will be 23, Jason Ruff against, well, McNutt's back in there.
Back in there, yeah.
Ruff against McNutt. It's kicked off McNutt's skate. Jesse with it out at the point left side. It goes to Kuntz. Kuntz along the blue line. Feeds it right to Ivan Jesse. Jesse winds up, shoots wide of the net. All the way around and back out into the Lethbridge end. Hurricanes back for it. Lethbridge, a city of about 80,000 in southern Alberta. As the puck comes up along the boards and shot right back in by Krause. It was on goal as Ferguson taps it away, leaving it for a teammate. Ferguson shoots a pass out now to Czechny. Paul Czechny is stolen away by Delcourt. Delly whipping it back into the Lethbridge end.
There's some great checking going on out here at the red line. That's what's called back checking, folks, and they're doing a good job of it.
Half a minute to go in the penalty, and now the Hurricanes bring it out across the blue line, lose it again as Spenrath is able to tap it away. Puck controlled by Ivan Jesse. Jesse shoots it into the corner, and Jakes is there for the Americans. Steve Jakes shooting it out to the blue line, out to the point. Kuntz with it. Whips it back behind the net, but Jakes has it once again. Jakes and Spenrath cruise in after it. Shot back out to the point, stopped there by Jesse, and he loses it back into neutral ice. Stolen away by Rennie. Rennie trying to get it to Spenrath. Spenner goes in after it with Jesse. Penalty's over. Cole's back going to the penalty box, and a quick change, or going to the bench, out to Cudowitz. Cudowitz, a drive, and it's deflected by the stick of Mark Kuntz. Back out along the point. Rennie with it. Rennie losing it to Kuntz. Back underneath. It goes to Barnes. Here comes Barnes-Arama. Barnes wheels around the slot, right of the net. Tried to get it to Rennie. Rennie couldn't handle it. Kept in play by Cudowitz. Around behind the net. Barnes with it again. Here's Stu Barnes. Barnes. Spenrath! Spenrath shot hits the pipe. Spenrath centers it once again for Rennie. Rennie can't get to it again. And it's shot into neutral ice by the Hurricanes. Back for in a hurry is Murray Duval. Harry Murray, and we'll have an icing call against the Lethbridge Hurricanes as they bring it back down the ice. And very quickly, let's talk to Wes Mackey. Wes, what do you think?
Well,
pretty exciting?
Yeah.
Is this a game you can learn to like?
Yeah.
I think so too. Which guy you like the best?
Which team? Or which guy?
Which guy?
I don't know.
Haven't made up your mind yet? Okay. As they're fixing the ice. Dad, help.
I can't remember his name.
What number?
Something like student.
Stu. Oh, Stu Barnes.
Stu Barnes.
There we go. Wes Mackey, our guest color commentator tonight.
You know, and he's got a famous last name. There's a gentleman that used to play for the Blackhawks back in the late 60s named Chico Mackey. He was a very good power forward for the Blackhawks back then. Scored a lot of goals. Was a great winger. Excellent player.
Barnes with Malone and LeBrun to take the face-off now to the right of Ferguson. Barnes winning the draw. Barnes, a shot! Goes right side to LeBrun and is blocked to get another shot. Rebound comes out. Barnes with it. Wheels around the left corner. Stu Barnes loses the puck now to Berthelsen. Back into neutral ice. Shot back in by the Americans. Barnes with it. Gets it across the blue line. Here comes LeBrun. LeBrun and Malone. LeBrun right of the net. Malone! Malone poked at it. He hit the pipe one more time. My, oh my. As it comes back out along the blue line. Scherstenka keeping it in play. Taken down by the Hurricanes. Here comes Lethbridge, Brian Bosch. Great pressure by the Americans, and we have an offsides against the Lethbridge Hurricanes.
Oh, that was close, Kurt.
It was. We haven't seen that kind of pressure by the Americans at all.
This is a different team. I'm telling you, whatever Coach John Oliver has put to this team has made a difference in this first 9 minutes of this hockey game. Right down there in front of the net, Ferguson was spread out all over the place. Sean LeBrun used his little dip and dive move, tossed it over to Malone, and Malone just couldn't get it in time and hit the post.
Face-off just outside the blue line. This time, poked loose, Trevor Senn to Rick Fry. Fry with it. Fry and Robertson, 2-on-2. Fry a shot. Rebound comes off of Ferguson's pad. Taken into the boards by Trevor Senn now. Big hit as the puck comes across the neutral ice area. Back down into the corner, right of the net. A couple of great big hits there as Krause goes in behind the net, leaves it out for Fry and Senn. Fry with it. Now Shane Cole wheels in. Shoots a pass ahead intended for Robertson. Kevin can't get to it, and back is Kuntz for the Hurricanes. He tries to shoot a pass ahead, and Senn breaks that one up. Now with it is Pilipuk. Pat Pilipuk brings it ahead, loses the puck along the boards. Dump back into the Tri-Cities end. Back behind the net, it's to Krause. Krause to Robertson. Robertson digging at it with Pilipuk. And we'll have a whistle there. Whoop, Shane Cole.
Yeah, get the lubber up there a little bit. And I think
Cole's going to go sit for a little bit.
I think referee Rebus is going to send him in there.
Cole and ends. I think Cole's going to get this one for roughing. Shane Cole, his second penalty of the night, second in a row against the Americans, and it comes at 9:51 of the period.
And Shane's tossing his stick around down there, banging against the glass. He's not happy.
Cole off for roughing at 9:51.
Boy, I hope that's not any indication on how close they're going to call it tonight.
Yeah, that's power play number 3 for the Hurricanes, and that's something the Americans can't afford.
No.
To be giving up that many penalties. Face-off comes to the right of Frank Ferland, or his left, rather. Your right as you look on from center ice. It's Delcourt against Brian Bosch on the face-off, and now both of them, well, Bosch being chased, and it will be Mark Gregg. Bosch, Gregg, and Corey Lyons, the line for the Hurricanes. Face-off won by the Americans. Krause shoots it out into neutral ice, all the way down into the Lethbridge end as Wes Walls wheels back in behind his net for it. Walls with it behind the net. Now Walls starting to bring it out as they start the rush. Feeds a pass up the left side now to Mark Gregg. Gregg whipping it in behind the net, gets by Ferland. Out to the right corner. A couple of big hits there in the corner. Nice check. As the puck is taken out of there by Gregg. Whips around behind the net. Mark Gregg tried to wrap it around on Ferland. Can't. Loses the puck. Here comes McNutt. McNutt and Delcourt 2-on-2, but they'll break it up for a shift change. Goes in behind the Lethbridge net. And here come the Hurricanes. Ivan Jesse with it. Jesse, Walls across the blue line. Wes Walls takes a hit there. Puck slides loose, and Kwiatkowski shoots it back to neutral ice.
Great penalty killing here.
All the way back goes Mark Kuntz for the puck. Hometown is Medicine Hat, Alberta, to Bosch. Bosch trying to get it back to Kuntz.
And we got a penalty.
We have
you
a penalty.
Bet. That's right. Mark Kuntz right there.
A holding against the Hurricanes. Kuntz, I believe, is the penalty leader on this team, too, is he not?
Yeah, he's got, well, before the game started tonight, 124 big minutes in the penalty box.
Well, the Hurricanes go 0 for 3.
Well, he grabbed Kiwi and pulled him right down around the circle by the center line, and that was pretty obvious. That was right in front of referee Rebus.
Well, the Americans will have power play number 1 when they... in 51 more seconds. Right now it's 4-on-4. Here comes Rennie. Rennie goes left to Malone. Malone, a drive, and it's covered up by Ferguson. Caught that one right in the pads. Rennie racing in on him. But Ferguson coming up big on that shot. That was a big wrist shot.
Frank Malone with that patented wrist shot of his, and that's the one that puts holes through you.
Well, Malone has real strong forearms, and it's kind of a...
Sure does.
Almost looks like a Lanny McDonald wrist shot. He really gets the wrist into it. Sherstenka with it. Sherstenka on the face-off, losing it back into the Lethbridge end. We're 4-on-4 now for 35 more seconds. Malone takes the puck to the boards, gets it out to the point. Kraus, Sherstenka walks in on Ferguson, shoots! Loose puck right of the net. As was blocked by Ferguson. Sherstenka trading smacks with Ivan Jesse. Puck's down in the corner, out to neutral ice. Kraus keeping it in play.
There's a helmet in the crease.
Getting it out now to Malone. A helmet loose right in front of the goal. It is the helmet of Ivan Jesse. Now there's a stick down, and the puck is shot back into the Tri-Cities end. Back around behind the net. And the power play for the Americans will start as Shane Cole comes out of the penalty box. Here comes LeBron, getting it by Spenrath as he beats his man to the boards. Puck shot back into neutral ice. And we have a whistle as it was offsides against the Tri-City Americans.
Greg Spenrath did what is called a pick right there at the blue line to allow Sean LeBrun to get away from his defensive man. Pretty much like a screen that you'd see in, or a pick in basketball. And
during the intermission, also available at...
That's what Spenrath did for LeBrun, and LeBrun scooted right around him, and yet there was another offsides. Face off right outside the Tri-City Americans, or the Hurricanes.
Barnes with Spenrath and LeBrun face off against Kelly Enns. Face off won by Barnes, and Spenrath can't quite get to it, but Stu can. Barnes within the corner. You hear the crowd yelling, Stu, Stu. Scores! Scores! Stu Barnes!
Stu Barnes skating right around the side and puts it, just tucks it beautifully right between Jeff Ferguson's legs. And the Americans take the lead on Stu Barnes.
Power play goal.
That's right. That's their 4th consecutive game where they had a power play goal, and that's his 19th goal.
Spenrath getting the assist. Goal comes at 12-13. The Americans lead 1-0. Barnes winning the draw. Gets it back to Jakes. Jakes shooting it into the Lethbridge end. Goes into the right corner. Berthelsen in after it. Whips it around the boards now. Gets it out to Mazatinek. Stolen away by Barnes. Barnes, LeBron. LeBron drives it into the right of the net. Barnes with it. Loses it there behind the net to Czechny. Now it comes out along the boards and is shot the length of the ice into the Tri-Cities end. It'll be icing if Jakes gets back to it first. He does, and it is. And he'll take it back. Barnes, what a great move.
That was a beautiful
From the left of the goal. What he did was he digged Ferguson into thinking he was going to go all the way around behind the net and wrap it around. And instead, he changed direction so quickly and just made a little S move and took it in around the near post. Ferguson didn't have a prayer.
That's right. That's called the presence of a good player. That's knowing where the goalie is not.
It's McNutt with Delcourt and Spenrath now for the Americans. Face-off won by the Hurricanes, but it's kept in play behind the Hurricanes net. Ferguson leaving it behind for Kuntz. Shot out to the blue line. Spenrath there to keep it in play. Airs it back in behind the net. Ferguson whipping it into the corner. Delcourt rips in after it. And McNutt takes a big hit there. Ooh, big hit on Delcourt by Kuntz as they try to dig the puck loose. Now Delcourt has it. Delcourt with it. Shoots a pass out to Sherstenka. Dan Sherstenka has it tapped away from him, and Mazatinek has it for the Hurricanes. Shooting it into the Tri-Cities end. Mazatinek, as he and Rubichuk try to get it, but it is the Americans. Pass out to Spenrath. Spenrath dumping it into the Lethbridge end. It goes in behind the Hurricanes net. Shot all the way back out to neutral ice. Pass goes left to Kraus. The Americans clear the zone. McNutt goes in.
Nice.
Delcourt really leveled Kuntz. And we have a whistle. The puck was gloved ahead.
Boy, Wes Mackey here, our guest commentator, boy, he really got a kick out of that.
Boy, that was a great hit on Kuntz by Delcourt. Good night, Irene. He just turned the lights out on Kuntz. Kuntz, a good-sized youngster, a 20-year-old. 6 foot, 175 pounds, out of Medicine Hat. Delcourt, 5'10", 185 pounds. Hometown is Kelowna, British Columbia. 1-0. The Americans leading the Lethbridge Hurricanes. That an interesting thing happened the other day. I walked into the Rainier Bank downtown, and Donna Vance was there. We got to talking, and she apparently went to high school with Greg Delcourt's dad.
Wow.
He said they look exactly alike, and the fact is they do. 6:26 to go in the first period here at Tri-Cities Coliseum. Kirk Williamson along with Tony Ott and Wes Mackey. On the face-off, puck loose, goes into the corner. Rennie with it. Or Kwiatkowski, rather, digging for it in the corner as he and Dirksen go into the corner deep. Dirksen now faces up with Brian Bosch, and they exchange shoves. And now Jason Ruff goes in to try to take a piece of Devin Dirksen. And Dirksen will be escorted off the ice. I don't know who else is going. As the goalie Ferguson comes out and has a word with Dirksen. I think Dirksen was the other player in the Dusty Emo deal. I'm almost sure he was.
Yeah, Devin's, I think that's a little sign of frustration, but again, that's kind of setting the tempo of the game tonight. The Americans are showing the type of hockey they can do. There was a finesse goal, yet there was some intimidation out here. Hey, what can you ask for? You know, Coach John Albert. Coach John Albert is just, this is the kind of hockey that you'd like to see.
Tri-Cities penalty to number 16, Frank Malone. 2 minutes for the delay of the game. Time to penalties 13:42.
Well, except that's not Malone, it's Dirksen. Walls and Dirksen both for delay. And it comes at 13:42, I believe.
That's it.
And the teams will remain at full strength on the concurrent penalties.
Penalty is number 16.
It is, right, it isn't Walls either, it's Bosch.
Yep.
Bosch and Dirksen is the way it all works out. And the puck shot down into the Tri-Cities end, into the corner, right of the net. Around behind the goal, a goal. Shane Cole with it. The Americans lead 1-0.
Nice
Cole
check.
evades a big hit, turns and looks for somebody. Gets a pass ahead to Malone. Here comes Malone. 3-on-2, goes left to Rick Fry. Fry wheeling into the corner, leaves it behind for Malone. Back out to the point now. Kraus shoots it off of Kwiatkowski's skate, and Fry chases it into the corner. Now Fry turns around as they dig it along the boards. Shot back into neutral ice.
Jason Ruff
Back
just
board
sent
is
back.
Kraus. As the puck comes out to neutral ice, LeBrun with it. Tries to get it to Kwiatkowski, can't. Czechny there for the Lethbridge Hurricanes. They get it ahead to Grieg. Grieg has it stolen by Stu Barnes. Here comes Barnes, leaving it behind for Kwiatkowski. A drive wide of the net. Back out to the point as it's chipped back into neutral ice. That was a great move by Barnes to set up a scoring chance for Kwiatkowski.
Drop pass.
Barnes with it to LeBrun. Right between LeBrun skates to Kraus, and Kraus will air it into the Lethbridge end. In after it is Rennie, in hard. The Roondog spins around behind the net. Rennie leaves it, gets it out front to LeBrun. LeBrun, a drive blocked out front. And the puck is shot one more time back into the Tri-Cities end. Kraus back for it. Boy, they've had some hard shots. Pass from Kraus to LeBrun. A little hot for LeBrun to handle. Kuntz plays it off his stick, and now Barnes will shoot it into the Lethbridge end, and we have offsides.
You know, that check down there what Shane Cole did on number 23, Jason Ruff of the Hurricanes. Jason Ruff was led off the ice. He went directly to the bench, and they took him back to the locker room. We'll try to keep you up to date on exactly what's going on there.
Faceoff will be Barnes against Kelly Enns. On with Enns, Masatinik, and Rob Hale. The defensemen are number 4, Kuntz, and Paul Czechny, and Berthelsen. For the Americans, Barnes, LeBrun, and Rennie with Kutowitz and Duval. Face-off won by Kelly Enns, and the Hurricanes have it. Hurricanes bring it up the left side. Up to the blue line, shot back into neutral ice by the Americans. Now Kuntz trying to get it ahead, can't do it. Duval keeping the puck in play now. Duval and Rob Hale tie up along the boards right in front of the Tri-Cities bench. I don't think we're going to have a penalty here, but we'll have a face-off at the blue line.
I think Murray said that he likes his uniform or something like that. I thought that's what he was saying.
Probably just exchanging compliments, I would think. It'll be Kelly Yenz and McNutt right at the blue line to face off. McNutt gets it for the Americans. Here comes Tri-Cities, 3-on-2. McNutt across the blue line. Beats the defenseman, and it goes into the corner where Spenrath goes in after it. Now McNutt trying to dig it out. Comes to Greg Spenrath along the boards. Spenrath tied up there, and they'll freeze it right there in the corner. Had a chance. 1-0 to score. Tri-City Americans leading the Lethbridge Hurricanes.
Crowd gets right behind them.
Yeah, they do indeed. 1-0 to score. 4:09 to go in the period. Face-off will come to the right of the Lethbridge goal. Waiting now for the little bit of repair to be done on the ice. Just to the right of the face-off circle. 4:09 to go in the first period here at Tri-City Coliseum. 1-0. The Americans leading the Hurricanes. When did the Americans break on top last, Tony?
Boy, it's been a couple of days, yeah.
Delcourt winning the draw. Jesse has it, though, for the Hurricanes behind his own net. Played off the boards. Tri-City stealing it away. Back for it is Hale. Rob Hale with it. Along the board, shoots it up to the blue line. Duval can't handle it. The Americans will have to clear the zone. Pass goes left to Kutowicz. Cutter shooting it into the Lethbridge end, left of the net. Ferguson comes out, leaves it for Jesse. Wheels around. What a hit by McNutt back in the corner. McNutt with a puck. Steve McNutt leaving it now for Delcourt. He's pasted to the boards by Berthelsen. Stolen off his stick by McNutt. By Spenrath. Spenrath tries to get around to the right of the net. Centered. Oh, just tapped by McNutt. Can't do anything with it. Now McNutt turns around and takes a poke at Kelly Yenz. Boy, the Americans getting some chances. They're not pretty, but they're getting some close-in chances.
Well, that's good, though. You know, the more opportunities that you have, chances are that something's going to light up that red light down there. And again, Mr. Everywhere, Steve McNutt. He's everywhere. Well,
he is. He's got 5 goals on the year, 6 assists for 11 points.
But I think it's what he does on the ice other than the goals and the assists. The checking he's always around somewhere.
Malone with Kwiatkowski now. And Fry as the puck goes toward the net on the face-off, and it's stopped there by Ferguson. Jeff Ferguson, 7 wins, 11 losses, and a tie for the Lethbridge Hurricanes. Dusty Emo, 8 wins and 4 losses for the Hurricanes. They're pretty much playing even up. 3:24 to go. Face off to the left of the net. It'll be Malone against Brian Bosch. Now Bosch being chased out, and here comes Colin Gregor. Gregor from New Septa, Alberta. On the face-off. They still can't get it loose. Finally comes out to the blue line. Shane Cole whipping it around the boards, right to left. Into the corner goes Malone after it. Malone trying to get his stick on it. Now Kwiatkowski comes over. Puts on a big hit, and Bosch losing it right in the slot to Fry. They kick it to Seibel. Seibel with it in the corner. 2 Americans on him, and they freeze it.
That's a quick freeze there. I saw that puck scooting out behind one of the skaters' skates there. But they went ahead and called it a frozen puck, and they're taking a look at that spot down there, Kirk.
Yeah, that's still not a very well frozen part of the ice, apparently. It'll be interesting to see. Well, now the referee and the linesman coming out, they're going to try to do a little more repair on the ice. Yeah, maybe they're not.
Yeah.
Now getting ready for the face-off now. It'll be Barnes against Brian Bosch. Barnes, Rennie, and LeBrun of the line for the Americans. Barnes winning the draw. Can't get his stick on it. It goes to Kuntz. Kuntz behind the net. Shoots it out along the dasher board. Taken down there by LeBrun. LeBrun tries to get it to Scherstenka. Shot in toward the net by Scherstenka. As Rennie goes in after it behind the net. Now out to Barnes. Barnes trying to center for LeBrun. Stolen away, and here come the Hurricanes. Back for it is Jakes. Leaves it off his stick, and Brian Bosch has it. Bosch in the slot, a drive. Stick saved by Ferlin wide of the net. Jakes comes in to break up the play. Jakes leaving it for Rennie. Here comes Rennie, 3-on-2, left to LeBrun. LeBrun with it. LeBrun to Rennie in the slider. Shot blocked by Ferguson. Ferguson slides it out in front of him. Back around behind the net goes Bosch. Bosch with it. As Barnes wipes out behind the net, they try to get it out. Now shot out into neutral ice.
Has a great check
it'll
by
be
Sean.
icing as Jakes will go back to touch it.
The two great defensive plays right there. First off, Stu Barnes with a great sweep check to pick the puck up, and then Sean LeBrun with an excellent check. Now the forechecking going on down in the zone down here in the Hurricanes end is what is going to win the Americans a game. I'm telling you, this is excellent.
Certainly much different from what we saw the other night against Spokane.
Totally new team out there.
2:02 to go in the first period, and then we'll be back in the first period to have a final word with our guest announcer tonight, who is Wes Mackey, 8 years old from Kennewick. I'll bet Wes is really getting his eyes open here about this great sport of hockey.
He looks like it.
On the faceoff, a shot by Kutowicz from the point. Blocked, and it's knocked into neutral ice by the Hurricanes. Back for it is Murray Duval. Duval, and it's chipped right up over the players' bench as Duval, trying to poke it to a teammate, loses it. It goes right up over the players' bench.
Yeah, no, that bounced right off the glass, and that guy didn't know which way to go, and it ended up right in his lap.
Faceoff will come just inside the blue line. It'll be McNutt against West Walls. Faceoff won by the Hurricanes. Stolen away by Tri-Cities. McNutt, and it loses it now to Greg. Greg shooting it in behind the Tri-Cities net. Scherstenka whipping it out into the corner. Now Duval with it. Or Kutowicz, rather. Duval shooting at the length of the ice. It's going to be icing when the Hurricanes get back to touch it. Again, if you happen to have a radio with you tonight in the Coliseum, icing is shooting the puck out of your defensive end, the length of the ice. It has to cross the center line, your blue, or the other team's blue line and the other team's goal line, and then be touched by a defensive player.
Great weekend of hockey coming up, too. Also, tomorrow night, you don't want to miss. The Portland Winterhawks will be here.
Well, the Americans would like to be able to figure out what it takes to get on top of the Winterhawks. Face off to the left of Ferlin the Magician. West Walls to face off with number 16, Frank Malone. Now Malone being chased out. And Kwiatkowski will come in to take the face off. And against Mark Gregg. Kwiatkowski against Gregg. Puck is down. Goes into the corner. Kwiatkowski winning the draw. Shane Cole shooting it out into neutral ice. Minute 21 to go. In the first period, Americans leading 1-0. Pass goes right to Mark Gregg. Gregg bringing it up quickly. 3-on-2. Gregg leaving it at the blue line for Walls. Walls down to Gregg as they try to checking him off of it as Krause comes out. Checks him away from it. Back into neutral ice. Back for it is Berthelsen. Left at the blue line and shot into the Tri-Cities end by Gregg. The Americans back for it. Here comes Fry. Fry with Kwiatkowski and Malone. Fry across the blue line. Kwiatkowski there. Fry, Kwiatkowski, and Enns tie up. And they'll freeze it along the boards once again.
You know, Kirk, I was just keeping an eye on Shane Cole and Rob Krause and how they do their defense. These guys work very well together. It's like they know each other, like, very well. They really do a good teamwork as far as defense. And
well, they played against each other last year. Shane Cole at Prince Albert and Rob Krause here at Lethbridge, or in Lethbridge. Played for the Hurricanes last year. Rob was our designated
deputy of defense.
Well, no, he was the designated bus director in Lethbridge. The only one who knew where we were going.
He did a good job in Spokane talking to everybody on the bus, too.
LeBrun and Kelly Enns. And now LeBrun goes out, and Barnes will step in for the Americans. Face-off won by Enns. Lethbridge with it. Back in the corner. Seibel around behind the net. Seibel with it. Barnes stealing it away. Barnes in the slot. Barnes has it. Barnes a shot. Blocked by Ferguson. Right of the net. Puck's tied up there by Ferguson as he comes out to bury it. Ooh, boy.
It's Stu Barnes doing his magic again.
Oh, he did. Had a clean steal right there in the slot. Made Ferguson come out and make a great save. Americans lead 1-0 over the Hurricanes. here at Tri-Cities Coliseum.
In the last 5 games, the Tri-City Americans have only allowed 17 goals total. Just a little over 3 a game. That's really good.
32 seconds remaining in the period. It'll be Rennie now with facing off against Bosch. Bosch winning the draw, goes to the boards. Rennie digs after it, but it comes out along the boards as Scherstenka goes in for it. Now Barnes stealing it. Barnes leaving it behind for Rennie. Rennie around to Barnes behind the net. Barnes centers it. Tried to get it to LeBrun, and Brunner's checked off the puck. Jake's with it behind the net. Jake's in deep. Tried to get it to Barnes. Kicked off his skate. And it's chipped back out along the glass. Out to Scherstenka. Scherstenka shoots it back into the Lethbridge end. Left of the goal. In around behind the net goes Mark Kuntz. Kuntz takes a big hit for LeBrun. And time runs out in the first period with a score. Tri-City Americans 1, Lethbridge Hurricanes nothing. We'll be back in 2 minutes on this KOTY Americans hockey broadcast.
Refrigeration is just taking a little bit extra time to get that ice all solid out there. And it looks like we're going to be playing hockey here in just a moment.
Well, when you have a new building like this and a new plant, you have a new refrigeration plant, and that always has opportunities to pick up air bubbles in the lines and all of that kind of nonsense that you never plan on. You can't really plan on, but does happen.
Yeah, it does. And it looks like everybody's coming to center ice, and we're going to get the second period started.
Okay, the Americans leading 1-0. The goal scored by Stu Barnes. Barnes on a power play. The assist going to Greg Spenrath, coming at 12-13 of the period. Barnes scoring his 19th goal. Spenner getting his 10th assist. Face-off won by the Lethbridge Hurricanes. Hurricanes shoot it into the Tri-Cities end, but is stopped at the blue line by the Americans' Dan Scherstenka. But it's knocked back into the Tri-Cities end. Jakes leaving it for LeBrun. LeBrun with it. Now back to Steve Jakes around behind his net. Jake shoots a pass out to Rennie. Stopped at the blue line there by Czechnyta. Dumped back into the Tri-Cities end. Into the corner goes LeBrun. LeBrun tries to sky it up. Knocked back in by Bosch. Loose puck. Stolen away by the Hurricanes. Bosch races in for it. Now Jakes will whip it all the way around the boards. Shot back down into the corner by Wheatcroft. A shot right in front of the net by Ruff, and it's wide of the net. Puck down into the Tri-Cities end. Now the Hurricanes playing the Americans game. It's a shot back to LeBrun. There comes LeBrun and Barnes. Play broken up by the Hurricanes. Now stepping right in the middle is Ruff. Jason Ruff takes it in from the right side. Ruff has it checked away from him by Jakes. Now here come the Americans. Barnes with it. Shoots a pass off the boards for LeBrun, and it goes down into the corner. Spenrath comes on for LeBrun. Chases down into the corner. Berthelsen and Rennie dig for the puck. Rennie with it. Getting it loose, and now the Hurricanes have it. Here comes Lethbridge, 2-on-3. Broken up quickly by Krause. Back to Shane Cole. Cole flipping a pass ahead to McNutt. McNutt losing it at the blue line to Berthelsen. Shot back in along the boards. Back into the Tri-Cities end.
Rob's sitting there doing it, and we're going to have a penalty against Rob Krause.
Krause really working on Berthelsen, and he'll get called for the cross-check against Berthelsen. And that means the Americans will be shorthanded, giving up their 4th power play of the night to the Hurricanes. It comes at 1:37 of the period.
And they're calling Spenrath for the penalty.
Whoops. Spenrath, okay.
And
well, Krause even headed for the penalty box.
And you know, when he went by referee Rivas over there, and they both gave each other a big smile. So you might say that Rob got away with something there.
Face off to the right of Furlan in the Tri-Cities end. To Furlan's right, your left as you look on from center ice. McNutt against Bosch. And they'll try the face-off one more time as McNutt got in there on Bosch a little bit early. Bosch and Delcourt now to face off. Sticks are down. The puck is down. Comes out to Cole. Out to the point now to Berthelsen. Swings it to the right to Walls. Tried to get in a slot. Broken up by Cole. Shane Cole gets it ahead of McNutt. McNutt 1-on-2. McNutt a drive wide of the net. Goes off into the right corner. And they chase in after it quickly. Mark Gregg. Gregg with it for the Hurricanes. Gregg. Headman pass goes up the right side to Corey Lyons. Lyons across the blue line. Leaves the puck behind for Walls. Walls back into the neutral area, and they have to clear the zone. Walls gets it ahead to Bosch. Bosch with it across the blue line to Gregg. Gregg has it poked away by the Americans. McNutt breaking up the play. Now Delcourt with it. Back in the Tri-Cities end. Shoots at the length of the ice down into the Hurricane zone. And Berthelsen will whip in after it. Minute 14 remaining in the penalty. Berthelsen behind his own net. Kwiatkowski waiting for him. Now he comes out the right side to Pilipuk. Pat Pilipuk gets it ahead now to Lyons. Lyons across the blue line. Up the right side, has it stolen away by the Americans. That's Rick Fry. Fry plays it off the boards, out to the point. Goes to Walls. Walls keeping it in play. Back to Walls. Shoots it out front to Berthelsen. He one-times it, and it's blocked by Ferland. Great stick save there by Ferland the Magician. Gregg with it, left of the net. Turned around as Bosch tried to poke it in. Wouldn't go. Shot across the slot, and Ferland slaps it away again. 35 seconds remaining in the penalty to Spenrath. They've killed 3 power plays successfully already. Walls with it. Wheels around through his own zone. Brings it ahead now for the Hurricanes. Walls with it across the blue line. Wes Walls checked off the puck by Duval. Now Lyons slides it across in front of the net. Loose puck in front of the net. And the Americans save it again, but it's caught one more time. Jesse shoots it over to Walls. Walls can't handle it. Out to the blue line. Back across the point to Gregg. Gregg gets it ahead now to Walls. Walls top of the slot. Slides it down right side. A shot across the slot, and it's blocked again by the Americans. Now back into neutral ice, and the penalty is over. Great penalty killing.
Excellent.
For the Tri-City Americans.
And there's an icing call, but I'll tell you something. That was some fantastic penalty killing done by the Americans down there. They had the Lethbridge Hurricanes, again, number 2 as far as their power play, and they are now 0 for 4.
Well, they're sure blowing their percentage tonight, as they are 0 for 4 tonight. They're normally running at about 25%. And you see the big banner down there where the Zamponi machine comes in. Ferland the Magician with that tall pointed blue hat. It is Kelly Enns facing off against Malone. Malone winning the draw. Cross around behind the net. Leaves it along the boards. The Americans try to start the rush. Dirksen leaves it for Malone. Can't get to it. Now it's brought out by the Hurricanes. Out to Kuntz. Kuntz with it. Shoots a pass across in the slot, but Krause is there to break it up. Taking the puck is Ruff. Ruff starts in. Broken up again by the Americans. Now Shane Cole getting to it for Tri-Cities. And he'll air it down into the Lethbridge end. It races down into the corner. Spenrath puts a big hit on Ivan Jesse as the Americans racing after it. Back into the Lethbridge end it is. Spenrath trying to keep it in play. Ties it up at the blue line. Now puck back into the neutral ice area. Here come the Hurricanes. Ruff up the right side. One-on-one with Cole. Shoots and it hits the pipe. Just to the right of Ferland. It's into the corner. The puck went high in the air. Now Krause bringing it out. Rob Krause for the Americans. Puts a move on Kelly Enns. Krauser with it.
Nice move.
Gets it left to Malone. Malone checked off the puck. Slides across the blue line. Back into neutral ice. And Shane Cole whips it into the Lethbridge end.
Americans in a line change.
Quick change for the Americans. Puck comes out to neutral ice. Jakes putting a big hit on Ruff. Puck goes in behind the Tri-Cities net
icing.
And will have icing.
Well, the Americans and also the Hurricanes picking up the intensity here a little bit. Both teams doing a lot of great checking, a lot of great hook checking as well during the in the middle of the rink here, and that's what you need to do. One team has to do it, and then they get a little bit anxious and they start doing it on the other team, and sure enough, there's a great hockey game going on right now. This is hockey. This is what it's about.
The crowd's really starting to get into it. Face off to the left of Ferguson. Jeff Ferguson, 5.32 goals against average. He has probably the highest goals against average the Americans have faced. Face-off goes to Scherstenka. Shot! And it's blocked by Ferguson. Off into the left corner. Puck whipped around behind the net. Pilipuk with it. Pat Pilipuk shoots it out to the blue line. Kept up in play by the Hurricanes. But right there to break it up is LeBrun. Sean LeBrun shoots a pass ahead to Rennie. Here come the Americans. 3-on-2. Barnes. Stu up the right side. Centers for Rennie, and it goes right through the slot. Off to the left side, and the Hurricanes bring it back up. It's Mazatinik, rather, losing it to Barnes. Now with it is LeBrun. LeBrun Shooting it into Rennie to Barnes. Barnes!
Stu Barnes, number 14, with his second goal of the night from Rennie. Beautiful shot right out there. Great pass from Rennie. Hits him at about stick side with
Tri-City American second goal.
And here's the public address.
Scored by number 14, Stu Barnes. The assist from number 23, Steve Rennie, and number 18, Sean LeBrun. That's Barnes from Rennie and LeBrun at 5:50.
Rennie went in 2-on-1 with Barnes, and Rennie passes it through the slot, catches Ferguson over trying to keep an eye on Rennie, and Stu Barnes throws it in on the left-hand side, just slid it on the ice. The Americans lead 2-0.
14:10 to go in the second period. Goal comes at 5:50. As you hear Tom Lathan, the public address announcer tonight, reacting with the crowd. What a great job by Barnes, Rennie, and LeBrun. And credit LeBrun for starting that break.
And that's exactly right. That was started out here by the red line in between and neutral ice. And Sean LeBrun, a very, very wise play. He knows how to do that. You know, that shows what kind of head smarts.
Now we have a whistle as the linesman went over to talk with Ferguson. Now having a quick word with Jim Craig. Oh, getting a little bit of water from the Americans trainer.
They get thirsty too.
And the Americans winning the draw. Kutowicz wiping out in the Tri-Cities end. Puck comes out to the point. Shot around behind the net. Goes left to Ruff. They try to center it. Taken away from Bosch by the Americans. Delcourt nearly loses it there to Wheatcroft. Tri-Cities gets it back, and now it's lost to Seibel. Seibel back at his own blue line. Here comes Chad Seibel. Shoots it ahead, but Duval there to break it up. Now Spenrath chases it into the corner. Airs it up into neutral ice. Knocked down by Kuntz. And we'll have a stoppage right there as Kuntz and McNutt tie it up. But it was tied up right on the dasher board. And that's that board that sticks out in front of the glass. And the puck often rides that all the way around behind the net.
And you saw Nutter trying to check him past the blue line so he could keep everybody offside. And we're getting, oh, I think the wave is starting to finally show its head here.
Yeah,
there it goes.
Just got it going. You'll listen, you'll be able to hear it as it comes around underneath the press box if it goes around more than once.
Okay, now here goes West. West is doing it. There you go.
First wave from the press box goes to West. Face off, won by the Americans. Tri-Cities with it. Krause shooting it back into neutral ice. 13:26 to play. Second period. Americans leading 2-0. Whipping back in it is Sand. Puck centered, but there's no one home for the Americans. From the left side, they slide it right across the slot. Comes out along the boards. Cole can't keep it in play. Back to Krause. Rob Krause wheeling back into his own zone. Shoots it off the glass for Rick Fry. Fry ahead now to Robertson. Robertson to Sen. Sen chases in after, and it goes into the corner. Czechnita. Paul Czechnita with it. Shoots a pass out to Rubachuk. Rubachuk losing it there to Rick Fry. But it's shot back into neutral ice for Shane Cole. Now Cole chipping it ahead to Robertson. He has it knocked away by Gregg, and it's shot back into the Tri-Cities, and Ferlin will play it. Plays it off the glass to Robertson. Robertson can't quite get to it, but it's back behind for Fry. Fry shooting a bouncer in front of Ferguson as the Americans in a quick shift change. Puck shot off the glass. There's Dirksen with it. Dirksen a drive, and a whistle coming up as it's blocked out front. Dirksen tangled with number 9, Wes Walls.
And we got a high sticking penalty coming against the Hurricanes. Power play opportunity for the Tri-City Americans.
Penalty is against number 24, Paul Czechnita. And it comes at
penalty to number 24, Paul Czechnita. 2 minutes for high sticking at 7:36.
Penalty comes at 7:36 of the period. And face-off will be to the right of the Hurricane goalie, Jeff Ferguson. Ferguson, a 19-year-old out of Calgary, as he looks down the ice at Frank Ferlin. Ferlin, 20 years old, out of Nanaimo, British Columbia. That's a great poster down there of Ferlin with a hockey stick in one hand and that blue pointed magician hat with the stars and crescent moons on it.
That's perfect.
12:24 to go, second period. 2-0. The Americans leading the Lethbridge Hurricanes. Out it comes to LeBrun. LeBrun jakes along the blue line. Americans power play is LeBrun losing it, and he'll have to wheel back through neutral ice. Leaves it behind for Barnes. Barnes! Great pass there to Malone. Frank Malone with it, leaving it behind for Barnes. Barnes-Arama across the blue line. Barnesy up the right side. Barnes wheels in behind the net. Barnes all the way around behind the net, out to the point to LeBrun. Runner goes right to Jakes, back to LeBrun, shoots it over to Malone. Barnes a drop! Scored! Yes! Barnes the hat trick!
A natural hat trick. That's 3 goals in a row. That's called a natural hat trick. Stu Barnes, 3-0 Tri-Cities. And the Hats come onto the ice.
Here come the Hats, you betcha.
You bet.
Barnes from Malone. Well, we'll get it for you from the PA announcer.
Scored by number 14. Assist by number 16, Frank Malone, and number 18, Sean LeBrun.
The hat trick for Barnes, and LeBrun has a pair of assists. The goal coming at 8:05 of the period.
And another point to make, a power play goal.
Their second of the night.
Wow.
2-4. Are you ready for this? 2. You're never going to believe that. I'm serious. The second power play of the night.
That is terrific.
Face off out along the boards, won by the Americans in the slot. It's Kwiatkowski backhanding it into the corner for Dirksen. Dirksen leaving it behind the net. Malone trying to get to it, can't. Back out front to this point. Comes out to Kwiatkowski. Kiwi a drive, and it's smothered out front. Kwiatkowski back to get it. Into the corner it goes. Loose puck down low to Dirksen. Left to right around behind the net. Hurricanes shooting it back into neutral ice. Back for it is Rob Krause. Krause wheeling around, shooting it ahead to Kwiatkowski. Big hit on Kwiatkowski by Gregor. Colin Gregor got upended right there as he hit Kwiatkowski. Puck goes left to Lyons. Corey Lyons across the blue line. Checked away. Oh, loose in the slot, and Dirksen is there to save it. Ooh, that could have been ugly as Ferland came out to poke it and lost it. He just couldn't get the wood on it. Now the puck shot ahead to Walls. Walls through the neutral zone. Walls a big drive, and Ferland the stick save.
Excellent
and
save.
It comes right out to Malone. Here comes Malone, the drive. Blocked by Ferguson. Rebound taken off behind the net. That's Berthelsen around behind the net, and Malone covers him up.
Great forechecking.
Goes right in underneath Berthelsen as they try to dig it loose in the corner. Now we'll have a stoppage. As is frozen. Holy cow, what a save by Ferland.
And then on the other end, another great save down here by Ferguson. And we're talking the goaltenders on both ends were showing some great technique there and blocking those great shots too.
Well, that's the first time I've seen the crowd really come up and holler on a save. And Ferland took that one point blank and kicked it right off over onto the board.
That was what you do in that situation. Get it away from any kind of a rebound that an oncoming Hurricane can take. Good.
Well, and he almost
hockey.
started a great breakaway.
Yeah.
Faceoff will be McNutt against Bosch. And now Delcourt stepping in to face Bosch. To the right of Ferguson. Americans win the draw, but it's the Hurricanes there. Walls shooting it out ahead to Ruff, and it's broken up by Spenrath. Spenrath the drive, and it'll come down in the slot. Hurricanes with it. Lethbridge as Spenrath's stick is broken. They get it ahead to Ruff. Jason Ruff has it checked away by Duval. Great defense by Duval.
Oh, beautiful.
Puck tied up along the net. Poked away again. Another good save by McNutt. McNutt out to Spenrath. Spenner dumping it into the corner. In after it quickly is Kutowitz. Kutowitz and Walls, and he hammers Walls to the boards. Now Spenrath digging at the puck. Losing it. At the blue line is Walls. Walls feeding left to Wheatcroft. Wheatcroft with it back to Bosch to Wheatcroft. Slides right, a shot wide of the goal. Ferland falls down into the crease, but it never got inside the pipes. Puck's loose in the corner. Duval goes in after it. Duval shoots it ahead to Delcourt. Stolen. A shot taken from the left point. Blocked by Ferland. Comes out along the boards. Spenrath with it. Whoa! Did they ever upend Jason Ruff? Shot into neutral.
Breakaway.
Delcourt a breakaway. Delcourt.
We're going to have a penalty coming up.
And we're going to have a penalty and a penalty shot, I think, as Delcourt was really molested from behind by Berthelsen. Let's see what we get here. Let's wait for the announcement.
A hooking penalty.
Hooking is the call. And if I was John Oliver, I'd be out there yelling about, don't you think we ought to have a penalty shot here? But it's not going to happen tonight.
No, I think what you're going to see right there, now that particular penalty right there against Berthelsen was
Lethbridge
a good penalty, actually.
Yeah, he had to take the penalty, and now the referee down there talking to the Lethbridge netminder. But we're ready to get things back underway. It is Kelly Enns to face off against Kwiatkowski. Kiwi with Barnes and Malone on the line as Barnes has been chased out of the face-off circle. Now Kwiatkowski chased out. And that'll bring in Stu Barnes. Aha! Barnes wasn't chased out. They were just waiting to get him in there. Face-off goes to the boards, and it's shot back into neutral ice. Racing back for it is LeBrun. LeBrun wheels around behind his net. LeBrun outran Gregor for it. Here comes Brunner. Sean LeBrun across the blue line. Steps through the defense. Kwiatkowski behind him. Puck slides toward the net and a whistle.
I think they're going to give it an offside.
I think they are too.
Well, that's some.
Well,
good,
that was exciting.
Yeah, it was. Sean LeBrun doing a great little sprint move there, coming around the back end of the net, and it was just a flat-out sprint right up the side here.
9:11 to go in the second period. The Americans on the Barnes hat trick, and wouldn't you know, guess whose picture's on the face of the program tonight?
Stu Barnes.
That's right, which means that Stu Barnes will be our guest in the penalty box show immediately following tonight's game. Face-off won by the Americans. Goes into the Lethbridge end. Kwiatkowski with it. Kiwi down in the corner. Kwiatkowski has it chipped off his stick. Brings it back up. Shoots a pass up to Jakes. Jakes left LeBrun on the power play. It goes left now to Barnes. Barnes in the wing. Back to LeBrun. Americans with their third power play of the night. They're 2 for 2 to Barnes.
Great pass.
Barnes a shot. It's smothered out front, and the rebound comes back out front to LeBrun. LeBrun back to Jakes. Jakes a shot. Just got high and got onto the glass. Puck shot back out of there.
Nice
saved
play
by Jakes. And now dumped back into neutral ice. Jakes took that one right in the chops.
That was a good play.
LeBrun back for it. Shoots a pass ahead to Stu Barnes. Barnes gets it from Malone to Barnes. Barnes pulls up to right to the side of the net. Barnes trying to wrap around, gets it out in the slot. Loose puck, and Ferguson will cover it. Now Barnes is shoved out of there by Kelly Enns. And there are about 3 Americans led by Kwiatkowski and Frank Malone who would like to take pieces of Kelly Enns and put them in their souvenir case.
That's
I think.
right. And Stu goes right over to the face-off circle and wants to go back to work. He says goal number 4 would be nice tonight.
This is getting to be kind of fun.
Yeah, I kind of like this tonight.
50 seconds remaining in the penalty to Berthelsen. Pete Berthelsen out of Calgary. Barnes on the hat trick tonight has scored his 19th, 20th, and 21st goal.
And another thing, too, on a hat trick now, as mentioned, it's a natural hat trick. That means there are 3 consecutive goals in a row by the same person. That's called a natural hat trick, and that's what Stu Barnes has done tonight.
Barnes will turn 18 years old on Christmas Day.
Merry Christmas, hey.
That's right. Young man out of Spruce Grove, Alberta. Barnes on the face-off against Brian Bosch. Face-off goes into the corner. Round behind the net. 47 seconds remaining in the power play as they dig for it along the boards. Taken out of there by Bosch. Here comes Bosch. 1-on-2. Shoots it into the Tri-Cities end. Back for it is LeBrun. Bosch on him. Bosch around behind the net, but LeBrun's there. Shoots it off the boards. Got it ahead to Rennie. Here comes Barnes. 2-on-2. Barnes. LeBrun goes down to Rennie, and Rennie couldn't get the stick down. LeBrun really took a hit, lost his stick. Barnes shooting it into the behind the net. Rennie races in after it. Malone there. Back to Rennie. Out to Spenrath, and it's whipped back into the neutral zone. Back for it is Jakes. LeBrun really taking a big hit down there.
Yeah,
He'll come off the ice. Comes out to Rennie. Dogger wheels around through his own zone, losing it to Ruff. 4 seconds on the power play. Ruff shooting it back to the Tri-Cities end. Schustenka there. Shoots a pass ahead to Malone. Went around and stepping out of the penalty box. Berthelsen. 2-on-1. Berthelsen goes right to Gregg, and he scored. He scores. Mark Gregg. That's the second time that's happened this year as Mark Gregg gets it from Berthelsen, but Gregg caused the play to happen.
That's right, and when Berthelsen stepped out of the penalty box, that's what you call a sleeper. A guy that kind of lays back, and he just happened to walk right into the play. And there it is.
Comes at 12:40 of the period.
Those are tough to take.
And the goal scored by Gregg as he and Berthelsen walked in on Furlan, basically 2 on Furlan.
Yeah.
And Furlan might be magic, but there's just about so much you can do.
That's too bad too. Frank has been playing a great game tonight.
He has. I was kind of hoping to see him get the shutout. Kelly ends on the faceoff, but it's won by the Americans. Delcourt a drive, and it's caught by Ferguson. As Delcourt got across the blue line, and Ferguson will catch it and hold it. Freeze it right there. Face off, left of the net.
You know, one thing I've noticed too, Kirk, is that each time, and we watch this face-off, watch the defenseman. Now, when you watch Shane Cole and Rob Krause here in just a moment, when the face-off has taken place, and if it comes back towards this way, you'll notice how they grab a guy, or even watch down in the circle. Watch McNutt and Fry. Watch these guys. They'll grab a guy if it comes out.
This time it comes out to Berthelsen around behind his own net. Feeds a pass out on the right side to Bosch. Puck shot across now to Berthelsen. Cole breaks it up, shoots it back into the Lethbridge end. Around behind the Hurricanes net. And McNutt races in there. Whoa, big hit on McNutt there by the Lethbridge Hurricanes, Mark Kuntz. Puck shot back into neutral ice. Cole fans at it, misses, but Krause is there. Krause playing it out, taken by Wheatcroft along the boards. Kept in play by Berthelsen. Shot across ice to the right. Krause breaking it up.
Nice pass.
Into Delcourt. Delcourt a drive, and it's blocked. Great save there by Ferguson, wide of the net. Puck comes off the boards. Delcourt another drive, turns around, and Fry can't get his stick down now. Fry chips it toward the net. And finally the goalie, Ferguson, sails in there and goes nose down to get the puck. As Delcourt was racing in there after it, he managed to get Ferguson in the teeth, I think.
Ferguson's out there at the face-off circle, inside that circle.
Boy, he's a long ways out of the crease, but he didn't have any choice that time but to launch himself for that puck.
Fry took a couple of shots at it, and it went straight up in the air and came right back down in front, and Ferguson jumped right out towards the face-off circle and smothered it up for a face-off.
Ferguson out there saying, hey, guys, hello, I could use a little help here.
And Wes Mackey here looking at the scoreboard and doing a little bit of clapping himself.
3-1 the score. The Tri-City Americans leading the Lethbridge Hurricanes on the Barnes hat trick. The natural hat trick. That is 3 consecutive goals. And now the wave starting slowly around. What I want him to do is a spiral wave. Start it in row 1, go all the way around, add row 2.
Hey,
face off. Kwiatkowski had a whack at it in the slot, couldn't do it. Lost back into neutral ice. Back forward is Krause. Krause, Cole, and Spenrath, along with Robertson, as they wheel back through the zone. Great pass to Spenrath. Right to Kwiatkowski. And offsides will be called as Kwiatkowski. And I think Spenrath got in there a little ahead of things.
That was pretty close.
Very. Spenrath wearing the captain's C tonight for the Americans. 3-1 the score. 6:07 to go. Second period. Trevor Sen in there now as the centerman with Spenrath and Kwiatkowski. Back to Shane Cole. You think there aren't 5 tough customers on the ice right now? Lobbed in by Cole in front of the net. Ferguson has to go down, nearly losing it. Goes out along the boards. Back in behind the net. Puck shot out along the boards again, and in after it quickly is Rob Krause. Krause digging it away, and now Trevor Sen has it. Shoots it behind the back. Controlled by the Hurricanes. Good defensive play by Shane Cole.
Excellent.
Cole nearly losing it, though, as they lose it at the blue line. Kwiatkowski back in neutral ice. Back to Shane Cole. Cole, bad pass. Knocked away from him by Walls. Walls, and Cole gets it right back. Shoots it ahead to Spenrath. Bang. Play broken up. Gregor. Cole Gregor a shot. Blocked by Furlan, and Krause clears up the mess. Dumps it back into neutral ice. Chasing back forward is Ivan Jesse. Jesse losing it to Kwiatkowski. Kwiatkowski has it stick checked away. Rubachuk with it.
Great checking out there.
Back to Cole as Krause and Rubachuk kind of tangle in neutral ice. And the puck goes back into the Lethbridge end. Back forward is Rob Krause. Krause flipping it back into the neutral zone for Rennie. Duggar can't get to it. Ivan Jesse back for it. for the Hurricanes. To Rob Hale. Hale losing it to Kraus. Kraus flipping it back into the Lethbridge end. Back behind the net goes Jesse. Whoa, what a hit on Jesse. Americans have it in the slot. It went for Barnes, and Barnes, he can't get to it. Here come the Hurricanes. Mark Kuntz flipping it down into the left, into the Tri-Cities end. Wheeling back in for it is Rubachuk. Losing it to Jakes. Jakes gets it ahead to Rennie. Rennie shoots a pass left to Barnes. Barnes with it. Barnes in the slot. Stu Barnes. Great pass to Scherstenka. Scherstenka shot blocked. And it comes out into the corner. Back with it is Barnes, and he loses it in the corner. Penalty. Whistle. Penalty coming up.
A hooking penalty. And it's going to be against Lethbridge. And I'll tell you right now, Stu Barnes went out there and did that little drop-off pass, a little trailer pass, you might say, to Dan Scherstenka. Yep. And Dan Scherstenka took a shot on goal, and it was smothered up in there by one of the defensive men for Lethbridge. But that is great team play. That's a team player out there.
2 minutes remaining, or 2 minutes in the penalty now. A 2-minute minor penalty to Hale. 4:14 to go, second period. The Americans leading 3-1 over the Lethbridge Hurricanes here at Tri-Cities Coliseum. 3 more games remaining after this one before Christmas. Tony, will be tonight, or tomorrow night rather, the Portland Winterhawks in town. Then next weekend, it is the Medicine Hat Tigers and the Victoria Cougars on Friday and Saturday.
We're talking a severe 4-game homestand here, huh?
Indeed we are. And the Americans win the draw. Comes out to the point. Duval back to Jakes. Murray Duval. Duval looks for Barnes, finds Jakes. Goes off to the right side. Spenrath and Delcourt. Spenrath has it taken away there by Wheatcroft. Kept in play by Jakes. Good defensive play by Jakes. Around behind the net now. Goes the Lethbridge goalie Ferguson. Puck taken away in the corner by Delcourt. Delly out to the point now. To Duval. Back to Jakes. To Duval. Duval, a drive. Slides down.
There it is, a score.
Spenrath. I believe.
Yes, it is. I believe it was too.
It will be Jakes on the assist. And the score comes at 17.
And you can 17. See that happening. Duval, McNutt, Spenrath. There it is. It's official.
The assist from number 11, Murray Duval, and number 4, Steve Jakes.
And that is a third power play goal.
The Americans are 3 for 4 on the power play. Would you say they're breaking out a little bit? Woo. Indeed. 3:43 to go. Second period.
Are you excited?
401. Is the Pope Polish? Face-off won by the Hurricanes. They're back with it, shooting it through neutral ice. Scherstenka there for the Americans to keep it in play. But the Hurricanes able to get it ahead. Ruff losing it there to Jakes. Jakes and a whistle.
Devin Dirksen got caught. Those are tough. He's going to go sit down for a little bit.
And the call against Dirksen, we'll get it for you in a second here, from the PA announcer.
Tri-Cities penalty to number 9, Devin Dirksen. 2 minutes for hooking at 16:28. Dirksen on the minor at 16:28.
Dirksen on the minor penalty at 16:28.
And he's down there shaking his head. He knows that was not a real good thing to do.
Well, he looked the referee right in the eye before he did it.
Yeah.
4-1, the Americans leading on goals by Barnes, 3 of them, and Spenrath. Rennie winning the draw for the Americans to Rob Kraus, and Kraus shooting at the length of the ice. The only thing the Americans haven't done is scored shorthanded tonight, as the Americans are shorthanded now, and the penalty to Devin Dirksen. Now here come the Hurricanes. Pass goes left to Bosch. Bosch lets it go into the Tri-Cities end as Greg goes in after it. McNutt in there to break up the play. Shot out to the point. Goes out to Walls. Walls with it. Pass goes left. Berthelsen. Berthelsen feeds it left now to Greg. Greg with it. Starts down into the corner. Chips it underneath.
Penalty.
To Bosch, and a penalty coming up.
Hooking. And it looks like the Americans are going to have about a 35-second advantage. Oh, and we got a little words going on. A little McNutt there.
McNutt, Berthelsen.
Penalty to number 17.
Greg's going to sit
there. 2 minutes for hooking at 17:03.
Well, that'll create a 4-on-4. Lethbridge goes 0 for 5 in power plays, and the Americans will have their 5th coming up. in 4:35 seconds. And this is the time that Stu Barnes likes the best. 4-on-4, lots more room on the ice, a little bit less hitting and a lot more skating, and that's what the Barnes-orama is all about. I'm still waiting to see the spiral wave, Tony.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Barnes in a face-off against Ruff. Back into neutral ice. Barnes chasing after it, and the Americans control it. Goes to Krause from Cole. Krause with it, wheeling through his zone, passes behind the net, off the board to Cole. Back to Krause, to Shane Cole, back to Krause. Rob Krause starting to break out. Goes to LeBrun. LeBrun evades a man, goes through neutral ice. LeBrun with it, dumps it into the Lethbridge end, goes into the corner. LeBrun racing in after it, but he almost caught the goalie napping. Back for it is Barnes. Barnes shovels it out. Cole, a quick shot. Ferguson, rebound. LeBrun, and it's blocked twice by Ferguson. Puck's loose right in the slot. Shot back to neutral ice. Stolen by Barnes. Barnes to the right of the net. Barnes all the way around. Wraps around. Pumps it. It wouldn't quite go. Barnes with it again. Loose in the slot. Back out into neutral ice it goes. And the Americans go back for it. Some words had there by Barnes as the puck goes down into the Tri-Cities end. A behind the back shot by Jason Ruff. Blocked by Ferland. Another drive. And Ferland blocks it again. A drive by Ruff, and Ferland there to cover it up, and the Americans there to protect him quickly as a couple of Hurricanes were racing in to take advantage of the Magic Man.
And you should see old Shane Cole jumping right straight down there, and he is one of the deputies of defense.
Well, the scoreboard showing what Ferland's doing to Lethbridge tonight, building a brick wall in front of that net. What a great job by Ferland the Magician.
And that's concentration. When you get a puck that's backhanded up in the air like that, it kind of handcuffs you, and Frank was right there to...
Well, you got to wait for it, and leaves you a real target for somebody to blast you up into the cheap seats.
That's right.
Spinrath against Wes Walls. Now Spinrath goes out, and Rennie comes in against Walls. Rennie wins the draw. Back for it is Scherstenka. Still 4-on-4 ahead to Spinrath. Spinrath whipping it into neutral ice. Rennie racing after it. Dogger has it. Rennie across the blue line. Puts on a big hit, loses the puck. Goes to Walls across the blue line, but Spinrath is there. Knocked back into neutral ice by the Hurricanes. Here they come, 2-on-2. Now it'll be 2-on-3 as Rennie gets back into play.
Power play for the Americans.
Left behind for Walls. Americans on the power play. Walls with it. Has it stripped away. Now Scherstenka has it for Tri-Cities. Looks for the headman pass and a whistle.
And another penalty.
It'll be a tripping call against
Steve Rennie.
A whole bunch of cheap penalties here, causing thing to kind of slow down. Steve Jakes wearing the assistant captain's A over to lap at the referee a little bit, but it won't do him much good. 18:37 the time of the penalty, and now we're back to 4-on-4 for 26 seconds, and at which time Mark Gregg will step out. Gregg from Nanton, Alberta. 49 points, 16 goals, 33 assists for Mark Gregg. So he's been racing right along for Lethbridge.
Yes, and Lethbridge will have a power play opportunity coming up here in 26 seconds.
Barnes with 39 points now, as he had 36 going into the game on the 3 goals. In the second period, Lethbridge winning the draw. Hurricanes shoot it into neutral ice. Back there is Brian Bosch. Bosch feeds it right to Lyons. Lyons almost had it stripped away. Comes up to the point. Berthelsen, a slap, and Ferland blocks it into the corner. Great save by the Magician. And the puck chipped out of play.
And Steve Jakes back there talking with Frank going, hey, you know, I got that. You guys help. That was good. That was good. That was concentration again. And when you see all that interference running in front of the goaltender, that has a tendency to block the vision.
Well, you bet. Berthelsen stood out there, pumped 3 times before he finally let that slap shot fly, and he really banged it. That was a big shot.
Waiting for one of the American defensemen to commit himself so he could take a shot on goal.
1 second remaining in the penalty to Gregg. And then there will be a minute and 34 seconds of power play for the Hurricanes. Americans win the draw, dump it into the Lethbridge end. Gregg is up back on the ice. Minute 29 in the Lethbridge power play now, as the Americans are 3 for 5 on power plays, and the Hurricanes now have their 6th of the night. Jakes slapping the puck back into neutral ice. Jakes was upended and then almost slugged by Berthelsen as Gregg brings it down, goes into the corner, pulls up short, loses the puck to the Americans. Scherstenka taking a whack at it. Goes behind the net. Jake's out. Plays it off the glass. Into neutral ice. Fry. Clean breakaway. Here comes Fry. Fry and Kwiatkowski, but the play's broken up as Fry can't get it to Kiwi. Out into the slot, and Gregg steals it away. Oh, what an opportunity there. And Gregg will bring it back down for the Hurricanes. 5-on-4, Lethbridge with the man advantage. Puck stolen again by the Americans. Knocked back into the Tri-Cities and Duval there. Headman pass to Delcourt. Time running out, and time does run out in the second period. And we end it with a score. Tri-Cities 4, Lethbridge 1. We'll be back. Well, let's take just a second here and talk with our designated color commentator here, Wes Mackey. And Wes, that was a pretty exciting period, wasn't it? Oh boy, and he's saying thank you to Calvin Nibbs, who brought him a puck, but Calvin, you didn't sign it. We'll get Calvin to sign the puck for Wes Walls or Wes Mackey. Wes, what'd you think? Pretty exciting period?
Yeah.
Well, your guy Stu scored a couple of goals there. He's played pretty well, isn't he? Yeah? Hey, there you go, and a nice souvenir signed by Calvin Nibbs. And
Thank you.
we'll be back to talk with Calvin Nibbs in 2 minutes on this KOTY Americans hockey broadcast. On the face-off, won by the Americans, back to Krause. Krause shoots a pass ahead of McNutt and a two-line pass. And they'll go back and face off again just inside the Americans' blue line. 32 seconds remaining in the power play for the Lethbridge Hurricanes. For the Hurricanes, it is Brian Bosch with Wheatcroft and Ruff. And the D-men are Kuntz and Berthelsen. For the Americans, McNutt with Delcourt. Delhi winning the draw. Goes to McNutt. McNutt losing it in neutral ice to Berthelsen. Big hit by McNutt on Berthelsen. Puck slides across neutral ice to Kuntz. Kuntz whips it into the Tri-Cities end. Krause back for it. Back around behind the net. Krause leaving it behind. And it's shot the length of the ice now as Ferguson will come out and play it into the corner. Back for it is Pete Berthelsen. The Calgarian whips around behind his net. Feeds a pass left side now to Jason Ruff. Here comes Ruff. Across the blue line. Ruff has it stolen away in the slot. Back out to the blue line. 3-on-1 as Barnes steps out. Barnes taking it out. Ferguson feeds it. Score!
You bet. Stu Barnes over to Sean LeBrun, and they're making this look easy now, Kirk.
Tri-City scoring their 5th goal of the season against the Hurricanes. You had to know it was going to happen sometime.
Well, 3-on-1 like that, you've got LeBrun coming down the right side. You've got Stu Barnes going down the left, controlling the puck. He does a little dipsy-doodle move, puts it over to Sean LeBrun, and Sean just, you know, the net was wide open. A little bit of a tap, and we're in the net for a 5-1 score. The Americans lead.
7 seconds of the period.
It's
killed the power play.
And go out and score.
And come right back and score. And Barnes doing that step-out deal. Barnes winning the draw. Goes to Scherstenka. Scherstenka dumping it into the Lethbridge end. Hurricanes Berthelsen around behind the net. Leaves it out along the board. Puck shot into neutral ice. Back for to Scherstenka. And Scherstenka will go back to touch it for icing. And they'll face it off outside the Lethbridge end. The Lethbridge goal.
That's Stu Barnes' fourth point.
Scoreboard saying fire on ice.
You know it. They've shown it tonight.
Ferguson, look at Ferguson skating around down there out of his crease, talking to himself, wondering what happened.
Now, my count, that shows Sean LeBrun with 3 points. He's got a goal and 2 assists.
Yep.
And Stu Barnes has 3 goals and an assist for 4 points.
Rennie has a point. Malone has a point. Spenrath a point. Jakes has a point. Duval.
Well, Malone's point now makes his 4th point in 5 games for the Americans.
Yep.
So everybody's doing a little bit of everything tonight.
Rennie on the face-off. Winning the draw. Goes into the corner. Now it comes up for the Hurricanes. Shot back into the Lethbridge end. And it goes back to Jesse. Ivan Jesse shoots it along the boards. Stolen there by Barnes. Barnes a drive! Blocked out front as Rennie tries to get wood on it and can't. It shot in along the dasher boards. Big hit there on LeBrun. Goes into the corner. Rennie with it. Rennie leaving it for Barnes behind the net. Barnes with it. Barnes-Arama tried to center it to LeBrun. Brunner can't get to it. Back into neutral ice it goes. Jakes feeds it over to Scherstenka. Dan Scherstenka wheels through his own zone, loses the puck. And Rennie has to go save it back. Now it's shot into the Tri-Cities end. Back for it is Jakes. Jakes feeds a pass left to Scherstenka. Dan Scherstenka bringing it up for the Americans. Pass left, intended for Rennie, broken up there, but stolen back by Barnes. Now Barnes wheels through the zone. 3-on-3. Barnes leaves it behind for LeBrun. Taken off LeBrun's stick by Walls. Here goes Wes Walls across the blue line, and it's offsides. As cruising in ahead of it was Kelly Enns.
You could see Sean LeBrun sitting there on his defense as he turned around and started heading up, hooking number 7 Corey Lyons and staying with him all the way across the blue line, slowing him down. That is great defensive play. If you can do it and get away with it, you're the one that's much better for it.
5-1 the score. The Americans leading the Lethbridge Hurricanes. Face-off won by McNutt. To Kutowicz, back to McNutt. McNutt dumping it into the corner, right of the net. Ferguson goes back for it, whips it around the boards. But Duval there to keep it in play for the Americans. Now around to Delcourt. They caught Ferguson out of the net, but it's shot back into neutral ice. Shot the length of the ice. It'll be icing when Duval touches it behind the net. Murray goes around to put his stick on it, and it is icing. As the Hurricanes doing anything to get it out of their own zone, shooting at the length of the ice. Back to the Tri-Cities end.
You know, Kirk, at the front of this game, we talked about how the forwards were going to have to get involved with the checking and help the defensive play out. You know, on defense, it's just not the two guys, it's the forwards. And you've seen the forwards tonight play defense.
Delcourt, Spenrath, and McNutt as Delhi will take the draw now. Face-off won by the Hurricanes. Shot around behind the net as Kelly Enns whips it along the boards. Racing back for it is McNutt. McNutt gets a good check there from Kutowicz, and the puck shot up along the boards. Delcourt trying to get to it. Can't. Seibel there. Now the Americans have it. Got it to McNutt. McNutt losing it to Walls. Walls 1-on-2. Head of the slot, and he has it checked away from him by McNutt and Delcourt. Goes in the air to Kutowicz. Top of the slot. A drive by Walls. Goes off his skate. Down into the corner they go. Puck's loose along the board. Spenrath with it. 2-on-3. Spenrath, Delcourt, McNutt. Delcourt across the blue line, but Spenrath in too early for offside.
And Delcourt taking it just a little bit over to the right-hand side over there, and just kind of cut a little bit too late past that blue line, and Spenrath on the left side in offside for a face-off.
And the puck will drop just outside the blue line to the left of goalie Ferguson, the left face-off dot. Won by the Americans easily. Back to Shane Cole. Whipped into the Lethbridge end. Taken by Malone. Top of the slot. Shot back to neutral ice. As Cole and Krause will chase back for it, along with Jason Ruff. Cole shooting it ahead. Back toward the blue line. Now it's shot back into the corner. Krause goes after it. Krause around behind the net. Whips a pass out to Robertson. Back to neutral ice. Berthelsen has it for the Hurricanes. He dumps it back in once again. Now Cole with it to Krause. Krause feeds a pass ahead to Robertson. Robertson checked off the puck, but here comes Malone. 2-on-1. Malone. Pass. Just couldn't get it down to Kwiatkowski. Kiwi couldn't get his stick on the puck. Goes around behind the net once again. Boy, they've had opportunities tonight. Have the Americans out to Czechnyta. Czechnyta's pass ahead to Brian Bosch. Bosch goes left to Jason Ruff. Ruff shoots it cross ice, left to right, back behind the net. Ferland, and he whips it out now to Robertson. Big hit there, and Malone takes it off Robertson's stick. Frank Malone with it. It's broken up at the blue line. Offsides will be washed out as Ferland leaves it behind the net for Krause. Krause shoots a pass out off the board, stolen away there by Hale. Hale tried to whip it in and was knocked back by Krause. Now chipped back into neutral ice. Back forward to the Hurricanes. Back in a hurry is Kuntz. Kuntz as Dirksen gives him a whack with the stick. Shoots it ahead now to number 10, Hale. Hale losing it and upended by Trevor Sand.
Oh, center, he was all over that. That was good.
And a whistle as offsides called against the Hurricanes.
Trevor said, and a little fire plug out there. Upend and Rob Hale hit the center ice.
Well, Trevor has a real low center of gravity. He's only 5'9", 195 pounds. He's kind of like a skating fire plug.
He is.
5-1 the score. The Americans leading the Lethbridge Hurricanes, and the Americans have never scored 5 points in a hockey game. I take that back.
They've scored 6 in 2, I believe.
6 in 2 games. You're right. Beating Regina and Moose Jaw.
Yeah.
By a score of 6-3 and 6-2. Puck goes in behind the Americans' net. Jakes is in there to paste his man to the boards, and it's tied up there as Dirksen in after it, working on Mazatinik. He loses it to Fry. Dirksen getting it out to Fry. Fry's pass stolen away. Centered. Backhanded by Hale and knocked away by the Americans. Rubachuk to Hale. Now back out to the point. Here's Fry with it. Fry and Dirksen and Sen as they go 3-on-3. Fry beating his man. Fry taking it in. Tried to backhand it left before Dirksen. Dirksen gets a whack and scores! Scores!
Devin Dirksen.
Well, the Americans have equaled their output of the season. And we'll wait and get the official announcement from Tom Lathan.
That play started up with Fry coming down the right side, going around the net, trying to flick it in. Devin Dirksen taking a shot, bounces back off of him, hits his own rebound back underneath the pads of Jeff Ferguson, and the Americans are now just doing anything they want. They lead 6-1 with 14:41 left in this third period.
Well, and the fans love it. Dirksen getting his 5th goal of the season.
Americans' 6th goal. Scored by number 9, Devin Dirksen.
Puck loose in neutral ice, now dumped in on Furlan.
Rick Fry, the time of goal.
Fry getting the assist, and it's dumped back into the Lethbridge end. Hurricanes with it behind their net as Barnes comes out to molest number 25, Berthelsen. He gets it ahead to Walsh. Walsh loses it to LeBrun. LeBrun turns, wheels through the neutral ice area. LeBrun through the neutral zone. LeBrun beating his man, centers it for Barnes, and he can't quite get it done. Rennie, now it goes to Barnes as LeBrun goes off of his skates. Back to LeBrun in the corner.
Right in the middle.
Barnes, give and go. Barnes, back scores! Stu Barnes!
Holy cow, you can see it coming. What a beautiful play. A great backhand catches Jeff Ferguson on the low stick side. Stu Barnes with his 4th goal of the evening. The Americans are exploding 7-1 with 13:53 to go. Kirk, what can you say?
What do you want to say?
Well, let's let the crowd do it. They're doing a great job.
And we'll get the call. His 4th goal of the night.
Oh,
Stewie Barnes.
Man.
And it comes.
Tri-City Americans' 7th goal. Scored by number 14.
You hear the crowd helping Tom Lathan get that stew out.
From number 18, Sean LeBrun. Number 43, Steve Reddy. The time of the goal, 6:07.
And the Americans, as Spenrath breaks across the blue line, tried to leave it for Delcourt. Can't do it. Puck goes in behind the net. Whipping around quickly. Off. The Americans almost steal it back. Now here come the Hurricanes. 3-on-2. As Bosch gets across the blue line, and offsides is called.
Oh, did Spenrath put a shot on Jason Ruff down behind the net?
Yeah, he sure did. 7-1 the score. The Americans' biggest point output of the year so far. They've held the Hurricanes 0 for 6 on power plays.
This is the largest output the Americans have done all year. Way to go, Tri-City Americans.
On the face-off, won by the Hurricanes. Shot in from neutral ice on Furlan. The Magician comes out, plays it to Kwiatkowski. Kwiatkowski gets it ahead now to Malone. Malone, a drive! Blocked by Ferguson. Another shot blocked by Ferguson as Robertson and Kwiatkowski race in on Ferguson. Now Kwiatkowski has it, dumps it down in front of him, around behind the net. Kwiatkowski taking a big hit there. They shoot it out to the corner. Jake's in after it, centered it. Tried to get it across the slot to Robertson. Or to Spenrath, or Robertson. Robertson in after it. Puck shot out of there
We got a
now
penalty
by the
coming up.
Hurricanes, and a penalty coming up.
A delayed penalty. It looks like it's going to go against Lethbridge. No.
And Furlan waiting for Sherstenka to come down, play it for icing, and we'll get a penalty too.
It's going to go against
slashing.
The Americans.
Slashing is the call against Tri-Cities. Kevin Robertson, I think, will be heading to the penalty. Well, no, wait a minute. They're not opening the penalty box. The referee called it.
American penalty to number 20.
Yep, Robertson getting the penalty.
Kevin Robertson.
It comes at 7:10 of the period.
Well, this is power play opportunity number 8.
No, 7.
Number 7
for the Hurricanes. And they have been offered so far. 7-1, the Americans leading the Lethbridge Hurricanes.
And the wave.
The fans loving this.
Oh, here it goes. It's getting good. It's getting some steam.
Now they got it started. It's really whipping around. There we go. Section Z, Section Y, Section B, T, U, S,
and us. There it is.
12:50 to go in the third period. 7-1, the Americans lead. Power play for the Hurricanes. They win the draw. Seibel getting it on the right side to Berthelsen. Berthelsen goes right to Lyons. Corey Lyons got it across the blue line in behind the Americans' net. Kelly ends with it as they dig for it along the boards. Now back into neutral ice. The Hurricanes wheel back for it. West Walls behind the back pass to Berthelsen. Berthelsen back to Walls. Has to chop at it, and Dirksen hammers him there. The Americans keep it in play. Jakes Dirksen, a drive wide of the net. Devin Dirksen rifled that one in on Ferguson. Puck down deep as Berthelsen has it now. Berthelsen shoots a pass ahead to Lyons. Corey Lyons dumping it into the left corner. Furlan way out of the net to play it. Whoops!
Oh, no.
Loose puck shot right in front of the slot as Furlan came way out to play it. Furlan knows better than that. Big shot scored by Frank, and it got in.
Oh, no.
Oh, Furlan is hot. Lethbridge scores as Furlan got a little sloppy, got out of the net.
Yeah.
A lot of control, and the puck was chipped at Frank, and it was a lucky goal because Furlan normally just gloves that one. It was falling down toward him.
Yeah. And goaltender coach Jim Craig is also the trainer, was shaking his head over there, knowing that that's the kind of plays that you just don't like to make. If that was a close game, you know, now think about it, Kirk. Those 2 goals that Lethbridge has scored now have been really kind of fluke goals.
Both of them.
And this would be a shutout, a total rout, if it hadn't been for a little bit of breakdown right there.
Barnes and Rubachuk. Rubachuk winning the draw, but it's back to the Americans. Shot ahead to LeBrun. I think that was a power play goal, too. That was the first power play goal for the Hurricanes. To Barnes. Barnes in the slot. Slides it off to Spinrat, or LeBrun, a drive, and it's blocked by Ferguson. Barnes in to break up the play as Czechnika has it along behind the net. In after it is Barnes in the corner. Stu Barnes trying to get it out to Kutowicz. Barnes and Kutowicz dig at it. Taken away by Bazatinik. Taken away from him by LeBrun. Barnes wrapping around. Barnes with it as he's driven off the play by Czechnika. Puck loose in the corner. Barnes can't get to it. Kuntz back for it for the Hurricanes. And now a big hit put on by LeBrun.
Penalty coming up.
LeBrun, Rubachuk, and LeBrun is going to get called for this one.
Looks
Not
like a charge.
probably the smartest penalty you ever saw. It would be a charge against LeBrun. May have had to do with something with the fact that LeBrun actually left his skates.
Yeah.
Comes at 8:51 of the period, and LeBrun will go sit periodically.
Now, Kirk, this is where, you know, there's a lot of time left in this hockey game. 11 minutes and 9 seconds left.
Yep.
And there's some mental breakdowns going on right now. And this is what the Americans cannot afford to do. You know, let's keep an eye on this.
Let's wait for this one to be over before we celebrate
That's right.
On the face-off, it'll be McNutt against Ruff. Ruff wins the draw, but it's broken up by Cole. Cole to Spenrath. Spinner dumping it across the neutral zone to Jesse. Jesse goes left to Berthelsen. Back to Berthelsen. Berthelsen from Jesse, dumping it into the right corner. And they chase it as Kraus wheels in behind the net to get it. Now Kraus shooting it up into the crowd. He tried to play it off the glass, and it went a little high and into the crowd.
The Americans have got to relax a little bit, play their old style of hockey. You know, they have had a little bit of press on, you know, only scoring 6 goals. And do you think that it might have been just a little bit after they hit the 7th? They've kind of let down a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. 7-2, the Americans leading the Lethbridge Hurricanes. Face off to the right of Frank Ferland. Rennie against Ruff on the face-off. Ruff kicking it out to a teammate. Broken up by Delcourt. Goes to the boards. Big hit there as they go in after it. Delcourt shot toward the goal. Knocked down by Ferland. Ferland leaving it out to Cole. Shane Cole taking a hit from Wheatcroft. And a high stick call on that best go against Wheatcroft. It goes against Cole.
Shane is
that was a cheap call.
That was a
real dumb, cheap call.
I have to agree. And Shane is exercising the mouth right now, and
well he should, as the penalty comes at 9:25 of the period.
And they're chirping at each other. Wheatcroft and Cole, they're going.
Oh, Wheatcroft got it too.
You bet. And Shane Cole.
Well, it won't be a 5-on-3 anyway.
Shane is still barking at him.
Well, Wheatcroft started it. Shane Cole ended it. But they both got called for high sticking.
Let's keep an eye on that as they get back on the ice here later.
Penalty to LeBrun, however, as 1:26 to go. And still 5-on-4. Face-off won by the Hurricanes. And Duval shooting it back into Lethbridge territory. Pass shot left into the neutral zone from Kelly Enns. Enns has it stolen away by Delcourt. Delcourt with it in the corner. He's tripped and brought down by Kelly Enns.
And they won't call that.
Here comes Jesse. Jesse feeding a pass left to Walls. Walls trying to get in ahead of Duval. Puck's loose at the blue line. And offside called against the Hurricanes.
And Coach John Oliver over there giving referee Rebus an earful.
Well, he should have, because Wheatcroft came out and whacked Shane Cole about 4 times there in front of the net before Cole finally turned around and smacked him.
And then Deli gets tripped up back here at the other end of the ice and right in front of Rebus. And well, I can't fault the officials tonight. They really have done a good game. They've called a really good game tonight. There's been a couple of calls that have been questionable, but that's all part of the game, huh?
Minute 2, I suppose. Minute 2 remaining in the penalty to LeBrun. 10-10 to play. Barnes wins the draw. Here comes Barnes. Barnes checked off the plays. He and Sen started in on Ferguson. Back behind his own net is Mark Kuntz. Kuntz leaving it behind now for Walls. Wes Walls bringing it ahead for the Hurricanes. Tries to get around Sen. He does. Up to the blue line. Barnes nearly stripping it away as Seibel has to wheel back to get it. Puck across the blue line is rejected by the Americans. Shot right back. Now dumped again into the Lethbridge end. Hurricanes go back. 33 seconds remaining in the penalty. Mark Kuntz back around behind his net one more time as Sen wiped out. Sen on nobody. Pass ahead to Bosch. Bosch and offsides, as in ahead of Bosch was Kelly Enns.
Trevor found a big, thick part of that blue line out there and kind of upended himself.
I guess he did. 7-2, the Americans leading the Lethbridge Hurricanes. 9:31 to go in the third period. 7-2 the score. It's been a fairly long game. We had a number of delays here as Rubachuk will face off against Robertson. Robertson winning the draw. Shot back into neutral ice. Seibel with it. Seibel nearly has it stripped away. He does. There goes Dirksen and Robertson. Dirksen across the blue line. Beats his man. It slides in on the goalie, but neither one of them could get to it. As Dirksen and Robertson are checked right in on top of the play. Robertson is not a happy young man right now.
There's 2 young players right there, Devin Dirksen and Kevin Robertson, and they're really showing some good spunk out there tonight.
53-78, who was closer?
I think I got that one there, Kurt.
Yeah, you said 5100, didn't you?
Yeah, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Well, tomorrow night, the Portland Winterhawks in town, and it should be a big crowd. You can count on it if the way the Americans have played tonight. If that keeps up, there'll be a big crowd in here tomorrow night. Kevin Robertson out of Comox, British Columbia, 16-year-old for the Tri-City Americans. 7-2 the score. The Americans leading 9 seconds remaining in the penalty to Sean LeBrun.
Steve Jakes, the co-captain over there, one of the Bruce brothers, talking with Devin Dirksen and giving Kevin Robertson a few pointers.
They got a great poster
out. Isn't that great?
Jakes and Spenrath being sold tonight by members of the Volunteers for the March of Dimes. They get the benefit, and the guys will be out to sign that after the game tonight. As the puck shot into neutral ice. Back with it are the Hurricanes. Kuntz Shoots it ahead now to Rubachuk.
Oh.
Rubachuk, big hit there. Puck taken in by Mazatinek. Mazatinek tried to center it. It got airborne. Went right over Rob Hale into the corner and a whistle.
Boy, Sean.
Roughing the call.
That's it.
Against LeBrun. Sean LeBrun will go have a seat. And that penalty comes at 11:01 period.
Number 18, Sean LeBrun. 2 minutes.
And power play number 8. Power play number 8 for the Hurricanes. The Americans have had 5 power plays. They are 3 for 5.
They cannot afford to do this in the third period. There is still a lot of time left.
7-2, the Hurricanes trailing the Tri-City Americans. Face off to the right of Frank Ferlin.
This is every coach's nightmare if something like this happens.
Oh, we don't even want to think about that.
They got to start playing a little bit better right now.
Face off won by the Hurricanes. They go right to Lyons. Corey Lyons with it. Out front to Walls. Walls goes on the left side to Berthelsen. A shot wide of the net. Ferlin kicked it away. Comes out now to Bosch. Brian Bosch. Bosch out front to Walls. Walls in the slot. A drive. Ferlin blocks it. Rebound goes to Rennie, and Rennie will ice it. Rennie shoots at the length of the ice. Back for it is Berthelsen. Berthelsen behind his net. Gets a pass ahead now to Lyons. Good pass. Lyons ahead to Ruff. Jason Ruff leaves it left for Lyons. Corey Lyons taken into the corner by Duval. And the Americans, whoop! Puck knocked down at the blue line, and Kutowicz comes up to shoot it back the length of the ice. Racing back for it is Rennie. Rennie doesn't quite get to it before Berthelsen. Berthelsen's pass into the Tri-Cities end. When Scherstenka touches it, we'll have icing. No, he just, Kutowicz ripped it along the boards all the way back into the Lethbridge end. Jesse with it, back behind his net. Gets it out to Lyons. Corey Lyons across the blue line to Rubachuk. He tried to dump it in, and it's taken there by Jakes. Jakes for the Americans. Whoop, blocked away. Kept in play by Kuntz. Kuntz with it along the boards. Right of the net. Out to the top of the slot. Jesse can't quite handle the pass. Has it chipped away. Comes out to Kuntz. Kuntz a shot. Around wide of the net. Back into the corner. Backhanded back into, get it out to the left point. Out Rubachuk to Jesse. Jesse walks in on Ferlin. A backhander behind the net from Mazatinek. And the Americans continue to keep the Lethbridge Hurricanes off the board. Kuntz with it. Shoots it on the right side now to Hale. In the slot, a drive! Great block by Ferlin on Rubachuk. And Rubachuk goes down
and
hard.
And he's still down on the ice.
What a save by Ferlin, the magician.
Excellent save. Excellent save. Rubachuk threw a shot in there on Frank Ferlin. Frank Ferlin keeping his eye on the puck. Deflects it with his stick. And Rubachuk got up very slowly there.
What a save by Ferlin. That was a rocket right along the ice.
Those are tough.
9 seconds remaining in the penalty to LeBrun. 7:08 to go in the hockey game. 7-2, Americans leading. And here's the Malone, Barnes, Jake, Scherstenka line out there. And LeBrun will join them in 9 seconds. Americans getting ready to go. It is Malone against Rubachuk. Now Malone being chased, and Barnes will come in to take the draw.
Doesn't this happen all the time?
I think they like it. A quick shot from the slot. Blocked by Ferlin as the puck came out to Jesse. Ivan taking the big shot. Now it's knocked down at the point by Jakes. Taken off his stick by the Hurricanes.
2-on-1.
Walking in is Mazatinek. Slides it across the slot, and it's knocked away. Back out front, Kuntz. Kuntz a drive. Ferlin blocks it into the corner. Back for it is Mazatinek. Back out to the blue line again. Knocked off the shot by Malone, and the puck is loose along the boards. Barnes digging for it along with Hale. In behind the net goes Jakes. Steve Jakes cranks a pass back out to neutral ice, and we'll have icing as the Hurricanes will be back to touch it. No, the goalie played it.
That's right.
That wasn't too bright, as Ferguson had an easy icing call. Puck smothered out front by Malone. Malone and Barnes. Malone, a shot wide of the net, comes out to LeBrun in the corner. LeBrun to Malone. Malone, a drive! Saved. And a rebound comes out, but it's slapped away by the Hurricanes. Back into the corner as Malone and LeBrun dig for it. And we're going to have a cross-check. Well, maybe not. Puck's frozen.
Yep, frozen puck.
I thought we were going to have a cross-check on Ivan Jesse there.
Yeah. Frank Malone with a blistering shot onto Jeff Ferguson, and Ferguson doing the splits and catching that, barely getting his glove up there to stop Frank Malone from getting a goal there. Beautiful save by Jeff Ferguson.
7-1 to score. Tri-City Americans and Lethbridge Hurricanes. The Americans leading the Hurricanes here at home in the Tri-Cities Coliseum. Face-off will come to the right of Ferguson. And it will be Wes Walls against Delcourt. Delcourt comes in, gets himself tossed out, and McNutt will be in to take the draw. Now McNutt's going to be chased out, and Spenrath will come into.
Here we go. We're going to get this done.
Face-off won by Spenrath. Goes into the corner. Now here come the Hurricanes. Walls with it as he went back to get it. 3-on-3. Walls feeds a pass right to Lyons and offsides.
And over on the left-hand side was Kelly Enns, who was in offsides ahead of the puck.
Oh my, oh my. Is the word there.
It's been a long game tonight. All these delays that happened early.
6 minutes to play in the hockey game. Face-off just outside the Tri-Cities blue line. Americans leading 7-2. McNutt against Walls now. Puck's down. McNutt winning it. Back to Krause. Krause shooting it ahead to McNutt. Great pass. Spenrath got Wood on it. Lost it. As Walls wheels back through his own end. Has it stolen away by Delcourt. Delcourt.
Great
Here comes Delcourt. Tries to get it to McNutt. Goes around behind the net. McNutt with it. Checked off the puck by Corey Lyons. McNutt goes down. Lyons buries him. Loose puck comes out along the boards. Now shot back out to Walls. Walls through the neutral zone. 2-on-3. Walls dumps it into the Tri-Cities end. Furlan plays it back out to Spenrath. Big hit on Kelly Enns. Puck comes out. Shot ahead to Delcourt. Here comes Delcourt with McNutt. Delly with it. Has it stripped away there by Ruff. Back into neutral ice. Delcourt goes back for it. Greg Delcourt shooting it in. And Jesse has it around behind the net. Is Spenrath keeping an eye on him, and a whistle. Offsides is the call. Face-off will come outside the blue line.
Boy, Spenrath put on the old Captain Crunch down there on Kelly Enns.
Oh, did he ever. Kelly Enns will have nightmares about that one.
He was on his ends.
Face-off just outside the blue line as Ferguson looks on. Just outside the Lethbridge blue line. Sen against number 16, Bosch. Bosch winning the draw. Shot back into the Lethbridge, and no, shot up in the air as Kotowitz and Sen tie up along the boards with it. Now Lethbridge back in the neutral zone. Berthelsen shoots a pass right to Jesse. Jesse wheels around. Ivan Jesse goes left. Berthelsen. He snaps one back in to Bosch and company are offsides. Bosch, Wheatcroft, and Ruff.
Yeah, it was, you could see the play starting developing out there. That's some really good passing right there as well by the Lethbridge Hurricanes. Really sharp and crisp passing. They're trying to cut a guy off and do that, block a guy at the blue line and send a guy around the other side. So
7-2 the score. Face-off comes back out into neutral ice. I'm sorry. Tony, I didn't mean to cut you off. They're back behind the net. Kuntz. Kuntz with it for the Hurricanes. Tries to get it out to Bosch. Stolen away by Fry. Rick Fry with it. He takes a big hit from Czechny. Puck loose along the board. Shot back out by Ruff. Saved by Kotowitz. Cutter with it. Slides it down toward the net into the right corner. Sen lines up Ruff. What a hit by Sen on Ruff, and the puck lost at the blue line. But it's shot back into neutral ice. Whoops, here comes a 3-on-1. As Kotowitz back, a big drive wide of net. Furlan got some wood on it, and it comes out along the boards. Now shot back on the dasher board. Furlan back for it, leaving it for Duval. They caught the magician out of his net. Now Frank's back in place, and the pass comes out to Trevor Sen. Sen bangs it off the boards. Shift change for the Americans. Pass comes ahead to Mazatinek. Has it knocked away by Sherstenka. Back now to Kuntz. Kuntz. His pass across neutral ice and a two-line pass as it was touched by Mazatinek.
You know, the Americans are still continuing their constant back-checking and forechecking. And as I mentioned, that is the way to beat this Lethbridge Hurricane team, and it has paid off. And they're ahead 7-2 with 3:41 to go.
They've been working hard, and that's what it takes. 3:41 to go in the game. Face-off just at the blue line. Kelly ends against Malone. Malone winning the draw. Gets it loose into the slot and has it poked away. It goes to Jakes. Jakes with it. Now he whips it in right to left around behind the net. Stopped there by Berthelsen. Big hit put on Berthelsen by Robertson. Out to the point now to Malone. Malone flipping it into Robertson. They'll chase it down into the corner. Kwiatkowski takes a pop on Seibel. Comes back out to the point once again, and Malone has to wheel back through the zone, through the neutral zone. Being checked by Enns. Goes off to the boards and shot back into the Tri-Cities end, where Jakes will play it. Ahead to Scherstenka. Dan Scherstenka flipping it in along the right wing boards. Into the corner. Around behind the net goes Ferguson as he plays it out to the corner. Seibel and Kwiatkowski collide going for it.
Oh.
Seibel turns around. Big hit there on Robertson by Walls, and now the puck is frozen.
And Robertson goes over and gives him a little tap and says, look, oh, and they're getting nose to nose.
Kevin Robertson and Wes Walls.
Yeah.
Walls kind of
The penalty box show will feature Stu Barnes tonight.
took advantage of
Kirk Williamson just outside
Robertson, or at least Robertson thought so, and he wanted to chat with Walls about that a bit more.
In our penalty box show tonight, we'll have the one and only Stu Barnes being interviewed by, yes, Kirk Williamson. Kirk, that ought to be a lot of fun, huh?
Stewie's also always fun to talk to. He's a very personable young man, and
Do you think there's going to be many people standing down there?
I certainly hope so. Barnes, LeBrun, and Rennie. Barnes winning the draw. Shoots it back into the Tri-Cities end, and Cole goes back. Cole and Krause on defense. Cole with it behind the net. Waits for somebody to wheel around through the zone. Back to Krause now. Krause shoots a pass ahead to LeBrun. Little hot for LeBrun's stick, but Rennie's there. Now to LeBrun. LeBrun across the blue line. LeBrun takes it in, has to wheel back along the boards. Backhands one to Barnes. Barnes will chase it along with Czechny. Shot into the slot. LeBrun ahead to Barnes. It's poked away by Walls. Puck comes down in the neutral zone. Rennie goes to Cole. 2 minutes to play. Puck's knocked loose there. Ooh, big hit on Czechny by Rennie. And it's back to Krause. Krause to Shane Cole. The K connection. Shot ahead to Barnes. Great pass to Barnes. Barnes and LeBrun.
The cross play right there.
And they can't quite get to it. Broken up by the Hurricanes. Walls with it. Walls shooting it into the Tri-Cities end. Shift change for the Hurricanes. Ferland leaves it to Krause. Rob Krause. As Ferland pokes that stick out.
Nice play.
Good play to Delcourt from Barnes. Delcourt wheeling in. A shot. Rebound comes out. Blocked by Ferguson. Rebound as Kuntz is blocked into the net, and we have a whistle.
And LeBrun just took a shot at Wheatcroft.
Yeah, he did. And the net was dislodged mostly by the body of Mark Kuntz.
That play just developed a little bit earlier, showed Sean LeBrun and Stu Barnes doing that crossing motion right in front. It's like a pick and shed type play. That worked very well when you have two good skaters and two good stick handlers that can see each other inside the slot. And that one almost developed if it hadn't been for some good defensive play by the Lethbridge Hurricanes.
Faceoff will come at the head of the faceoff circle, the top of the circle, to the right-hand side of Jeff Ferguson. Your left as you look on from center ice. It'll be Sen against Bosch. Bosch winning the draw. Bosch getting it to Wheatcroft. Wheatcroft in traffic. Has it knocked away from him. Back to Duval. Minute 20 to play. Duval ahead to Rick Fry. Fry shoots a pass across ice to Dirksen. It's rejected by the Hurricanes. To Duval. Whips it back into the Hurricane zone. Back behind the net now. Walls with it. Pokes it out on the right side, and a good pass gets it back into neutral ice. Back for it is Fry. Has it knocked away. Here come the Hurricanes. Bosch, 1 minute to play. Bosch in the slot. Fry standing on top of the puck. Loose puck. Right out in front of the net. A shot blocked by Ferland. Ferland on Jesse at point-blank range. Here come the Americans. Dirksen. Dirksen 2-on-2. Dirksen beats his man, but he's taken out of the play by Jesse. Dirksen into the corner, puts a hit on Ruff. They scramble for it down low. Now the puck shot ahead, saved by Duval. Duval, a slap! Blocked there by Ferguson. Puck around behind the net. Seibel with it, 24 seconds. Seibel shooting it into neutral ice. Kelly ends getting around Kwiatkowski. tries to center it, a slap wide of the net. And they try to wrap it around Ferland. Dumped way back into the net, but he keeps the puck out of there along with Kwiatkowski and Jakes. Good defensive play by Kwiatkowski, doing the hard thing, and that has given up the body right in front of the net.
That's right, and Frank Ferland falling back into the net, just keeping that puck from crossing that red line. However it gets across it to light that red light, that constitutes a goal. And Frank Ferland right there to get a great stop once again.
11 seconds remaining in the hockey game.
I feel pretty confident about this one now.
I do too. 7-2 the score. The Americans beating the Lethbridge Hurricanes.
Turn out the lights. How's that go now?
Party's over. The Roon Dogs, Steve Rennie against Kelly Yance. Face up. Won by Rennie to Jakes. Jakes flips the pass head to Delcourt. 5 seconds remaining. Sherstenka with it. Wheels back into his own zone. 2 seconds. 1. And that's the end of the hockey game. The Tri-City Americans beating the Lethbridge Hurricanes by a score of 7-2. We'll be back in 2 minutes with our post-game show.
When business decisions have to be made fast.
Of hard work, we scored 7 goals. I think that's the first time all year we've scored 7 goals.
That's right.
It really feels nice to really break out of that defensive shell.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, it is the first time for the Americans to score 7 goals. You've done it twice this year. You've scored 6. But you got to feel good about the way that the whole team played tonight. It's been a team effort. Would you agree?
Yeah, after last night in Spokane, I think we really had to think twice about what we were going to do tonight. And, you know, we really came out and we forechecked hard, which, you know, John Oliver stressed before the game started, and I think we really took it to him tonight.
That's right, and it shows up on the scoreboard. Hey, Sean, you ended up tonight with a goal and 3 assists. You had a 4-point night tonight. Not too bad, huh?
Yeah, it's about time. I was slumping earlier in the season, and things are starting to come for me, and I hope to continue it out there.
Well, I tell you what, the way that you and Stu get out there and work together as a line, it's about time you guys broke out, and it looks good. Stu had himself a natural hat trick tonight, had 4 goals, and it's just one of those type of nights that everybody in the Tri-City is going to remember for a long time.
I hope so. It's a night I'm going to remember for a long time.
There you go. Hey, I tell you what, Sean, why don't you go ahead and pass the headsets on over here to Rob Krause. Rob's going to join us over here.
Okay.
And appreciate all your time. And a great game tonight, okay? Rob Krause is going to be joining us here, number 2, one of the K brothers, one of the big guys. And here he comes. They're having a good time here. Okay, he's going to put the jersey on here. He wants to look official, of course. And that's the whole idea here. He wants to get the Americans a little bit of publicity, and he's going to wear number 18. All right. Is this Sean LeBrun or Rob Krause here that we're talking with?
Sean.
Oh, hi.
There we go.
Hey, how's it going, Rob? Great game tonight.
Good, thank you.
Great game. You know, one of the things that we noticed tonight, and what I was just talking with Sean about, was the fact that you guys played together more as a unit tonight than you guys did Wednesday night up in Spokane.
Yeah, you know, our total effort as a team, we talked about before the game and decided to come out a little more fired up. And, you know, I think the players in general wanted, you know, to get a win here, a big win, of course. And, you know, as far as I'm concerned, it was nice to beat my old teammates. So.
I was just going to ask you something about that. This is the former team that you played against, and I'm sure that it had a lot of emotional factors were involved in that. And when you score 7 goals against your former team and you're part of the victory, it's got to make you feel good inside.
Oh, definitely. I was so happy when we won. I remember when we played in Lethbridge, you know, we just fell a little short, but tonight we won, and we won big, and I was, you know, one of the happier guys by far.
Yeah, there's no doubt. You know, the way that it looked out there to me, Rob, and of course calling it from up here, is that you guys stuck together with your forechecking a little bit harder tonight. A lot of good back checking up here in front, but you guys played some great defense as well, taking your men out of the play.
Well, we, you know, we really take pride in our defense. We got the lowest goals in the league, and, you know, as a defenseman, and I know the other defensemen, we take pride in stopping goals as much as, you know, Stu and Sean and them get the goals. So, you know, as far as our forechecking went really well tonight. We've worked hard at it in practice, and, you know, it's certainly coming along now. Just if we can do it on a consistent basis, you know, we'll be fine. So.
Well, I tell you what, it sure showed tonight, and the Americans come up with 7 goals, their biggest output of the year. Lethbridge, their power play, and speaking of that, the penalty killing, the Lethbridge Hurricanes were 1 for 8, and they had been scoring at a clip of 29% on their power play. So that is a very big bonus for the penalty killing team of the Tri-City Americans.
Yeah, great. We, again, we worked hard at that, and we take pride in that. I think we're tops in the league or second in the league and in penalty killing, and I know myself and everybody else, we really take pride in that.
Well, congratulations. I'm sure tonight you're going to do one in for it, and tomorrow night, big game,
Thank
Portland.
You betcha.
Okay,
You betcha.
we'll get you back here tomorrow night.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, we're going to take time out right now. We're going to take a 1-minute break on this KOTY Tri-City Americans hockey broadcast.
Up the Tri-City Americans broadcast tonight with Americans coach John Oliver. John, everything went well, but the power play especially well.
It sure did. We've talked about this so much, and it's been in the paper, and it's been something that every day I think in practice we talk about and have been working on. And the last few games we've had a goal a game, but we really haven't broken out, although we did get good puck movement, we did get good chances, but it's only a matter of time. I knew that we were going to erupt and get 3 or 4, and if it wasn't tonight, it would have been tomorrow night, but the monkey's off our back now. I think we can stop talking about it, stop worrying about it. We've got a power play, and it's going to score for us on a regular basis, but it's sure nice to get those 3 goals tonight.
Well, you went 3 for 3 for the first 3 power plays, and then wound up 3 for 5. That's something to get your percentage healthy in a hurry.
It sure is, and the nice thing about it was the first goal, Barnes's goal, was really not a result of anything we've worked on, our team effort on the power play. It was just a great individual effort by Stu Barnes. The second goal was Stu when we had 3 great passes and bang, Stu first time, at which we've been trying to get him to do, trying to get him into position there to get the shot away, and he buried it. And the third goal again was something we've been working on, just shooting the puck, getting Spenrath in front, getting the 2 forwards, conversion on the net. And again, it was a good goal, and we had good chances all night, and certainly that's very positive because we haven't been scoring, and every team relies on their power play to score for them. And if we can continue to get good production on our power play, I don't think our offense is going to be a problem anymore.
A couple of big saves by Frank Furlan tonight in the early part of the game. He gave up a couple of goals a little bit later on kind of how would you call them, just kind of fluky sort of goals. But first time I'd heard a crowd actually respond vocally to a save, and they did it a couple of times tonight to saves that Frank made.
Well, I think the fans are certainly beginning to appreciate very much Frank's net mining abilities. Tonight was not a night really where we needed goaltending to win, which was nice for a change. I'm sure Frank was quite happy to not face a whole lot of shots, and our whole team, not only our defensemen but our forwards, did a great job defensively. After 2 periods, they had 13 shots on goal. I'm not sure what they had in the third period, but it wasn't very many more. And really, Frank wasn't called upon at all, and the second goal was unfortunate. It's funny, some nights it's when you're not getting the shots, it's more difficult for the goaltenders to stay in the game because they get cold. They have to keep their concentration so high, and they lose it a little bit when the play's down the other end all period. I think that was the case in the third period. He'd gone out to play the puck in the corner just a little bit early, and they threw one past the corner, just about went in, went back to the point, they shot, and Frank on a normal night wouldn't have any trouble with that. But those things happen, and fortunately tonight we're in a position where it really didn't matter, obviously.
John, tomorrow night the Portland Winterhawks, at last report it was a 3-3 tie in Kamloops at the end of the second period. The Winterhawks come down here for a game tomorrow night. That should be a great game, and a game that the Americans probably been waiting for a chance to get even with Portland.
We sure have. We feel we've played very well against Portland all 3 games. We've yet to beat them, but we've outworked them, we've outhit them, we've outshot them. We just haven't outscored them. If our offense can continue to go and we get our power play keeps clicking tomorrow, we're going to be in good shape, and I'm very confident that we're going to go tomorrow night and beat Portland and get even for a couple earlier games where we really felt we should have won.
Tri-City Americans coach John Oliver, congratulations on a great victory. The Americans beating the Lethbridge Hurricanes 7-2. And that wraps it up from Tri-Cities Coliseum. I'm Kirk Williamson. Good night.